Hello. Hello. Sorry. I just had a tiny whiny snack that I haven't finished yet. I don't want to go out on an empty stomach, so I have a little bit of cup noodles from Nissin. They're very spicy. Very, very spicy. But hello and welcome to the final stream in 2025. For some of you, it's already 2026. If you live in Australia, if you live in Japan and other parts of the world, it is already 2026. I cannot believe it. We finally passed the 5-year mark, the 5-year threshold. I feel like we mentally, at least, I've been stuck in that 2020 until 2025 timeline. And starting tomorrow, that will be gone. Last 5 years, I will erase them. That is something I wrote in the description on YouTube. Nothing matters anymore. Starting tomorrow, the last 5 years don't matter. It's a complete reset. I want to completely mentally reset. I want to have a new approach to life and content creation and everything pretty much. Not saying that everything in the last 5 years was bad. I'm just saying that I think I've struggled enough in the last 5 years when it comes to content creation. And I'd like to open a chapter now of a bit of clarity, I would say. But I will go more into details in a second. For today, I did not really have a lot planned. I thought I'm just gonna go live for a couple of hours, talk about what we've been through this year, and what would be nice to have in the next year, in the following year. Not must-haves. I mean, there will be must-haves as well, but some must-haves, some nice to have things. We can discuss all of that and then say goodbye to 2025. I'm not gonna be here until the clock turns into the new year, because we're gonna leave to a friend's house that is not very far away from here, and then we're gonna walk down to the harbor. But first I'm gonna finish. I'm sorry, I usually don't eat during a stream. Well, no food today. No food. Zero food. Just water. Not even a drink. Nothing. Just water. Nothing else. And man, they're spicy. Holy shit. I'm eating a cup noodles from they actually have a collaboration with My Hero Academia, and the character, I did not watch MHA, so I have the character Katsuki Bakugo. I have the hot chili spicy version of it. It's delicious. Hello Ikari, hello, welcome. Happy New Year. If it's already 2026 in your place, Happy New Year and welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? How does it feel like being in the future? Happy New Year's, thank you. I mean, it's still the 31st here in Germany. It's 6/20/23, so in a bit less than 6 hours, I'll be in the New Year as well. If we hear some noise in the background, kids already testing their arsenal. So it could get loud in the next few hours. And sorry for the slurping noises, I'm eating. Having spicy noodles. Ramen noodles. Cup noodles from Nissin. Very delicious. Dang, it's already Thursday, 1st January. Wow. So you live in the future, Ikari. How is life in the future? You're currently talking to the past. No, we're gonna talk a bit about the goals that I have for next year, and also in German we call it Revue passieren. So we will look at the year, what we've accomplished this year, because while I was complaining a lot and there were lots of negative things that happened this year, I think we also did something right. Lots of bad, but we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about the positive things as well, as well as the goals that we want to have, or that we have for the next year, for this community, for this channel. How did you celebrate your new year, Ikari? Sorry, I usually don't eat during the streams, and with my mouth being full, I usually don't talk. I usually have manners, but not today. It's food ASMR, something we haven't done yet. No, I know this will probably piss people off who are very sensitive to sound, so for the people who are sensitive to sound, especially slurping sounds, I do apologize, but there was no time to eat before starting the stream and prepping the stream. So I literally just prepared this cup noodles, just like literally 5 minutes before I started the stream. Everything went into prep. To be honest, I didn't do anything. I just lay down on my bed, stay at home, waited for the new year. Okay, that is fine too. You know what? In my 3 decades on this planet, I've also had some days where, I mean, we all lived through COVID and shit like that. So there were years where I just did nothing. You don't have to feel bad for it, man. There's plenty of more New Years that you're gonna have in your life, and if just one day didn't work out for you, or one year you didn't feel like celebrating anything, that is totally fine. That is totally fine. It was such an important thing for me when I was growing up, because I just loved like being outside and with my cousins and whatnot. Because usually around New Year's we just had big family meetings, just being outside with my cousins and doing all kinds of shenanigans with the fireworks. That was a ton of fun. It was more like, it wasn't so much about the New Year's in itself, or like celebrating the year or shit like that. It was just celebrating being together and doing dumb stuff as kids. like something you shouldn't do, obviously, but for example, we threw fireworks into gum machines. You know, the ones where you insert like a penny or 50 cents and then you twist the thingy and then a gum comes out. We would just use that and put fireworks in there, and you know, dumb shit. Dumb, irresponsible shit. Or we buried fireworks in snow, because when I was a kid, usually around this time there was tons of snow on the ground. Right now there's nothing. It's still cold. It's very it's freezing outside, but there's no snow. So for everyone, my point being, for everyone who stays at home today, just watching a movie, playing a game, or just having like a nice chill sit-in, we literally, I can like remember one New Year's Eve, I think it was, must have been 2012, around that time-ish. We played Monopoly. We started playing Monopoly around 11 p.m. and we started being so like immersed in the game and started arguing with each other and fighting, like, no, you should do this and you should do that, and just give me the money now and you can buy the street later. And like we were like fighting so hard. At some point, my uncle said, wait, it's already 12:30. Like we missed the countdown completely because we were so immersed in fighting each other and fighting, being immersed with the game, with the board game. So at the end of the day, it's just like a little countdown and number. We still went outside and celebrated. I'm just saying that it's like, don't worry too much about it. We had I experienced New Year's Eves where we were pretty much just playing games and drinking. Then around 12, we went outside for 5 minutes and then went back in and continued. I think the older you get, the less of a highlight New Year's Eve becomes. I think Christmas is a bit more important. New Year's Eve is literally just some nice cool firework like we have in the background, and just looking back on the year and saying goodbye to a year. I like the tradition, don't get me wrong. I think it's cool that all of humanity does it, right? No matter where you are on the globe, everyone says goodbye to the year and says hello to the new year. And everyone is still very hopeful on the 1st of January, right? Everyone has goals for the year. Everyone has the hope that their next year will be better than the previous one. So I'm hopeful as well. This is I think why my mood started to shift a bit in the last 2 weeks. Because the year is coming to an end. I can basically put it away mentally. Not just physically, but also mentally. I can just say, okay, that year's gone. Like, I tried doing some things this year. It did not work out. Did not happen. So it doesn't matter. The year's gone, and 2026 is a new chapter. Is a fresh start. And I think this would also be a good segue now to talk a bit about what we have accomplished this year. Let me just finish the juice. It is chili juice, like it's the remaining basically liquid. The ramen noodles are all gone, now it's just liquid. And it's chili, so I'm basically now drinking half a cup of chili sauce. Oh. It's warming the body. There's a bit of noodles left. Didn't want to eat that much either because there's a buffet waiting for me. So this was a good compromise. Now I feel a bit full. The chili also opened up all of my pores. Now we can actually start. I'm so sorry. I just spent 30 minutes doing food ASMR. Now let's start. Let us start. I actually wrote an entire list, and I also have this over here. So we can even do like must-haves and whatnot, our goals later on. But first I want to start with the things that we already did, that have passed, that we did right. Starting with, what is number 1 on my list? The honor roll, I called it. YouTube partner status. Perfect, let's start with that. And that's the playlist that we're listening to. Damn, I thought I prepared it. But don't worry, I did not really post that much this year, so should be around here. Yeah, that was our beautiful boy Zimby. Rest in peace, Zimby. Another year gone without my beautiful boy by my side. But this is what we have accomplished. I think this was like a huge W in 2025 because we got a lot of help. I'm not kidding. Like, we got a lot of help by the newer summer community, because just 3 or 4 months ago I was very far away from this goal. Like, I barely had enough watch time. I was on a good way when it came to the follower count, but when it came to the watch time, I was like I don't think we will accomplish it this year. And then one of those newer summer video kind of like blew up, and the newer summer community basically showered us with love and also watch time. And so I would be lying if I would be saying that this wasn't because of them, right? Like we accomplished this together, don't get me wrong, but it was like a target, almost like a targeted focus by the newer summer community, who embraced us and showered us with love, and that basically pushed us off the edge. So yeah, we reached 3,000 watch hours officially. Now we are well above that, which is nice. And I'm not gonna reread my heartfelt message. You can read that if you want to in your own free time. But that was the important part, right? Like if anything, like we did a lot of things, not so much in a correct way, but at least I can say like this, like the biggest accomplishment that we did content creation wise is to reach partner status on YouTube. For the second time, I have to add, because I was a YouTube partner before with my previous channel, but when my cat got sick and eventually passed away, they kicked me out because I didn't upload anything. So that hurt a bit. Like on many occasions, it hurt because first of all, I was just trying to enjoy the last few months I had with my cat and did not want to spend any free time into content creation. And you would think that like a system like YouTube would account for personal grievances or personal issues, right? But instead they were like, nope, you haven't uploaded in 3 months, so we're gonna kick you out. That's it. Probably an automated system as well. So that was kind of, that left a very bitter taste in my mouth. And I didn't even like strive for partnership. Like it wasn't like my main goal with the channel this year or last year. It was more like a nice thing to have, but not a must have. But it made me very happy still when we finally reached the requirements, because like it's like a huge burden that is lifted off of your shoulders, because with YouTube, the partner program is that you have 2 requirements. One of them is 3,000 watch hours, and the other one is, I believe it's like 500 followers or 1,000 followers. And that is like a 12 months progress. So you have to meet those requirements within 12 months. If not, then it basically, it doesn't get completely reset, but you have to think about, it will just always look back to your last 12 months, right? So if you started in January and you haven't reached partner by December, right? Or you haven't reached the requirements by December, then basically what happens is that from January 2026, it will look back to the last 12 months in 2025. So you're basically, while the goal is progressing, right, you're losing months of watch hours that you created in January of 2025 or February of 2025, because it always looks in a 12-month time period. So if you haven't reached the partner status in the first 12 months, then let's say it's June 2026, right? That means that it will look back to June 2025, and everything that happened before June 2025 will basically be lost, right? So if you made 500 watch hours before June 2025 and it's now June 2026, all of those watch hours will be gone. So since we are now a partner, that kind of like burden and pressure is gone. So I can just focus on just uploading and not so much, stress about these numbers and shit like that. Hi, Katie, and Happy New Year to you as well. Welcome to the stream. I was just talking about, or just started talking about the things that we did well this year, and not so much like today. I'm not going to talk about any negatives, because I think I spent the entire year talking about things that I'm not doing that well. So today we're just going to focus on the cool things that happened in 2025. But welcome, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I hope you have a nice party planned. In Germany, we say Guten Rutsch ins neue Jahr, which would translate to like wishing you a good slide into the new year. I hope you're sliding well into the new year. I hope that for every one of us, whether you watch this right now, like live, or later on, if you watch this later on, hope everyone has a fantastic final day of 2025 and an even better first day of 2026. Remember, It's never too late to start something, right? You're never too old to start something new. And if 2025 wasn't your best year, and that is something I can definitely tell, like, for myself, don't worry about it. That chapter's closed. Tomorrow is a new chapter. Tomorrow is a new page in your book of life, and 2026 is a new year, okay? New opportunities, new years. One door closes, another one opens. The 2025 door has now closed officially. I mean, not for myself, not yet. 6 hours. But the 2026 door will open in 6 hours, in less than 6 hours. So just don't worry about it. Gonna join family party later. Nice. Thanks, Jin. I wish you a great year ahead too. May it go smoothly. I'm gonna knock on wood for every one of us. May it go smoothly for whatever you're trying to accomplish next year. And even if you don't want to accomplish anything, I hope that you will just have a great year without any headaches. Because some people are already like set. You know, they're very happy where they are right now and they don't need to improve anything. And if that is the case, I'm very happy for you, but I still wish that nothing bad happens, because we can, like, unexpected shit can always happen, especially when it comes to health, right? So yeah, wherever you are in life, I just hope that your next year, 2026, will be better than your previous one. Doesn't matter if you're already happy with what you have. I hope that you're still gonna achieve something more and be even happier. Okay, so that was the big thing that happened, I would say, YouTube-wise on our channel. But also something that is not really a metric, but I've uploaded a lot. I sacrificed streaming, which I'll also handle a bit differently next year. But I did sacrifice one thing that I actually love doing, which is streaming, in order to improve being a better content creator. Now, I would argue I did not make huge improvements in that regard, but I went from uploading like maybe 3 videos a year to almost 70 videos, right? So it's a huge step forward. Once again, there's still plenty of room to improve, but I did it. I did it. So I uploaded more. We got to be partners on YouTube again after struggling a lot. But that was not all that happened. Let me just take a look at my list, because I forget shit. This is exactly why I made a list. Also, huge difference from last year, because last year I just wished everyone a happy new year. I also made like a happy new year video. It was a one take, like a 10-minute video, but I forgot to mention so many things that I decided for this year that I'm just gonna create a list. So that mistake doesn't happen. So we're learning from mistakes, even though it's a slow progress, and I'm a slow learner. I'm still learning. All right, what else did I write? Content pivot. Now this can be something that is positive or negative, depending on how you look at it. But we definitely went from doing lots of gaming live streams at the beginning of the year. If you take a look at our channel here. So this is basically what we started doing. At the very beginning of the year, we just did a lot of live streams, gaming live streams, because I thought that was the way to go, right? We did it exclusively on YouTube at the beginning of the year. I completely ditched Twitch, and I was like, let's do it. Let's just, since I'm uploading on YouTube anyways, and I'm uploading shorts on YouTube anyways, let's just be the YouTube live streamer as well. Like, do everything on YouTube. No more Twitch. So we slowly, since that did not really work out, I did so many things. Like, this is why you sometimes have to step away and see that you actually tried and did something, right? Because in the last couple of weeks, I was so like stuck in my head and told myself that I absolutely accomplished nothing. But if you just take a look at the year as a whole, I did try so many things. I did do a lot of content pivoting. I did try. I mean, just a year ago, 12 months ago, we celebrated 500 subscribers, and now we doubled that. That is an accomplishment. I'm just a bit too harsh to myself sometimes. As I told you, less than, I don't know, 10% or 15% even reached the 1K subscriber mark. So we did that. We played a bunch of games. We finished a couple of games as well. I wish I would have like finished more games, but that is also one of the things that I want to tackle in 2026, is that I want to have a very nice balance between offline recordings or just, you know, reaction content for YouTube, but then also with the remaining time we have, I want to just play games. Since gaming will probably not be a part of the YouTube channel anymore, it will just be our little playground on Twitch. So we're gonna do mainly reaction content, just chatting content for the growth sector. Hopefully, this is the plan, right? I'm not exactly sure if it will work. If it doesn't work, we'll pivot again. And gaming will just be something exclusive to Twitch. Twitch is the playground. YouTube is the growth factory. Hopefully, ideally, growth factory. Twitch is our playground. So we're gonna start off, I would say, most streams with a bit of just chatting, bit of reaction, and then spend the rest of the stream gaming. Or, as I said, I'm not really sure yet how to structure things, or we just have defined specific just chatting reaction days and then also gaming days. So either we separate everything or we do everything in one stream. We'll see. But the content pivot happened. Nowadays, as I said, if we just look at things that I started doing at the very beginning of this channel, I did gacha gaming, then Minecraft highlights, and then drama. And drama worked pretty well. If you take a look, this was my very first video. Don't be fooled by the numbers, because this video did not start with 122 views. Otherwise, I would have continued doing it. This gained 122 views after like a year. Literally, it started out with like 1 view or so. And then we did Minecraft, did more gacha, drama, and drama did pretty well. If I would have been a content shark and a content brained person, I would have just continued doing drama, but I did not like this type of content. Even though I like talking about drama, don't get me wrong, because humans are just curious, right? Curious human beings, and if something goes wrong in like the streamer community or the YouTube community, just taking a look at it objectively and then be like, this sounds like a problem, right? Or maybe like try and figure out the deeper rooted problems of a situation. That is a lot of fun. But I also noticed that when I uploaded this video, that I attracted a bunch of very blood-hungry people. Like this video, I think had some like comments that I had to delete even because they wished some very like bad things to happen to Jimmy, to Mr. Beast, and that was like, I decided here, even though once again it would have been the smarter part content creation wise or like viewing like wise to just continue shitting on bigger creators. It is a very successful business. Very, very successful. There are channels who basically upload like this person is bad videos almost daily. And I could have went that path, but once again, I don't feel like it personally. Like, I'm not pointing the finger at people either. I know people have to pay their bills, but I just felt like if my entire content becomes like basically scooping in other people's dirt and preying on their downfall, because their downfall also means new content for me, right? Then eventually I will start hating myself, or hating the content that I make. So I actively decided once again to go on with my life and not turn into a drama channel. Now, some people might ask, why did you keep those videos on your channel? For a long time, now I don't need it anymore, right? But for a long time, these videos, they created a bunch of like watch hours, right? And back then I wasn't like partnered yet. So I was like, if I unlist the videos now, the watch hour progress will be deleted. Now, since we're a partner, like I don't need those watch hours anymore, but it's still not gonna help the algorithm or my channel health if I would just remove a video like this from the channel. because I would remove essentially 3,000 views from my channel, and my channel doesn't really have that many videos which have more than 1,000 views. So I'm kind of reliant on those videos for channel health. Once I have multiple of these 1K videos, right, I can like remove all of the older ones, right? Not delete them, but definitely unlist them. But right now I'm kind of still like, I would send a very bad signal to the algorithm if I would just remove all of these videos that did not perform well or do not align with my content anymore. See, just a year ago we reached 100 subscribers. So within a year, basically, we went from close to 0 subscribers to 1,100 subscribers. I think that is something we can pat ourselves on the shoulder for. Doesn't matter where those subscribers came from, shorts, YouTube, shorts, newer summer community, like specific newer summer videos, or the live streams, it doesn't matter. Like we collected 1,000 people in here, and I can be proud of that. A lot of these people did not return, so that is something I definitely have to work on. It's returning viewers, because my returning viewer rate is very low. I'm a very transactional channel right now, so people come in, watch something, and then they go out. They never return. So that is definitely something I need to work on, and that is exactly also the reason why I went from watching pretty much everything, gacha, gaming, drama, anime, daily dose of internet, gaming trailers, Mr. Beast videos, to now, as you can see, we went from a sea of content to now like a lake of content. And now, even with this, it still sends very mixed signal to the algorithm, which I want to avoid, at least for a while, right? Until the algorithm knows who to recommend our channel to and who to like basically persuade to join our community. So now I went from an, let me just start with an ocean, with an ocean of broad content to a sea. Like I started having 3 types of pillars, and the pillars were anime, VTuber content, and gaming. So this is a good representation over here, right? We had anime, VTuber, gaming. VTuber, anime, VTuber, gaming. VTuber, anime, gaming / comedy, VTuber, or music video, kind of both. IRL content creators / VTubers, comedy, VTuber, anime, gaming. So I had basically come down from an ocean of broad content to a sea, or like a 3-pillar system, to now being only one river, and the river is anime. Now hopefully that river will be having like a strong current and will be like flowing smoothly, so that we can go from the river to the sea to the ocean, right? Not the other way around. I tried it the other way around. I tried to be like ocean, then sea, then river. Instead, now we are the river, and the river is anime, and hopefully we can like flow into the sea, which would be, I guess, like gaming, VTuber content, right? That would be the sea. And then the ocean would be finally somewhere here, right? Daily dose of internet type of content. That is the dream, basically, with the React content, because as a reactor, you don't want to be niched down to one reaction, right? You want to react to something that is interesting for both your community and for yourself. But right now, we don't really have that, so we have to go with the river, one lane. Maybe river was the wrong expression, but we are now back to one lane. We tried to be a 4-lane highway. Now we are back to one lane, and that one lane is gonna be anime for a while, until like we get more cars onto the lane. My metaphors are getting better. And then once there are too many cars, then we can maybe say, hey, might be better to open another lane here and try 2 ways. So this is one of the goals that I have for the YouTube channel going forward. Is we're gonna start with one lane, with the anime lane, and then see how far that lane takes us. Might be a dead end too. Like, who knows? Like, we might actually hit a wall, and then we gotta go back and rebuild the lane into something else and try again. But at least I know now what I want to do and what I need to do, and I'm gonna try that and see if it works or not. No more guessing, no more wild video reactions where I don't even know if I would have like interest in our community for that, right? There's one person, for example, I always mention him. He's a huge fan of Kamen Rider and whatnot, and he, like, every once in a while he asks me to like react to a deep dive of Kamen Rider and the Power Rangers, basically, or the Power Ranger franchise. And I was like, sure, I might be able to do that in the future. Like, I'm interested in the topic, right? But right now, like, I cannot fit. Like, if you take a look, it's all anime, right? It's anime compilations, a Gigak anime essay, then this is indie animation that I watched, and we talked about One Punch Man Season 3, Milky Subway reaction. Now, if I would upload a 2-hour reaction to a deep dive on Kamen Rider, it doesn't fit here. Alright. That was just point 2 on my list. My list is very long. I'm sorry. We gotta hurry up a bit. So content pivot I see as something positive, right? Because I learned a lot. Like, even though I have lots of misses in this year, but I've also uploaded a lot, and this is one thing that is definitely positive, is that I jumped over my shadows and started uploading more, and because I uploaded more, I got more data, and now the data taught me a lot, right? And the data now basically told me that I cannot do broad reactions just like all the other VTubers do, because I don't have the other VTubers established fan base, right? Like, VTubers can ignore these content signals, you could say, because their fan base is engaging with the content, and engagement tells YouTube that it is a good video, right? So there's no way that, for example, Neurosummer uploads a video that gets like 0 views and tells the YouTube algorithm that the video sucks, because Neurosummer has a big established audience. So Neurosummer and any other VTuber, or big streamer, they can upload everything without being punished by the algorithm, because their community is the one that gives the signals. So YouTube doesn't really have to work in that sense anymore. The algorithm doesn't have to work and find an audience for them, because the audience profile becomes very clear because of the signal that the community gives the channel, if that makes sense. I started watching VTubers only 3 months ago. My twin brother recommended me Neurosummer about a year ago. You have a twin brother? A Cathian? I did not know that. That's pretty cool. Do you also have that twin brother connection? That mythical twin brother connection? I recently got curious about VTubing, and I'm happy to discover that not all VTubers are loud and unhinged. Yeah, that is just... I think that is the problem with the clips of most VTubers being so... Well, it's just a certain type of clip that goes viral, right? It's not the wholesome VTuber 22-year-old woman who plays Monster Hunter or whatever, right? that creates a clip that goes viral. It's usually the ones that you know the clips. I don't have to explain to you which clips went viral from the VTuber community. Sure, there are some wholesome clips as well. I'm not saying there isn't, but there's clearly like one type of clip that goes more viral than another type of clip, and that kind of gives the impression that all VTubers are like that. And that is why I always say, when people come in here and they tell me, I usually don't watch VTubers because they're cringe or shit like that. I usually try and tell them, yo, there's a VTuber for almost every personality type. It's just pretty much normal streamers. There's loud streamers as well. There's unhinged streamers. There are kick streamers, IRL streamers, and the same goes for VTubers. Most of the first VTubers I watched were from the USA, so I couldn't join their streams due to time zone difference. Yeah, that sucks. Then I looked for European VTubers and finally found your channel, and let me say this honestly, I found exactly what I was looking for. Oh, Icathian. Oh, this is beautiful. This is ending the year with a beautiful note, because I'm also happy for all the people who joined my community, not just in the last 5 years, but also recently, because I did not really have to fake who I am. Surely I do sometimes when I tell story, I switch up some information so I don't dox myself, right? But also, like, sometimes I like to play a character, right? I always give this example when there's a like nice waifu coming to the screen and I do ooh, like I don't blush IRL, like no one does that, right? Like we are not anime characters, but sometimes I like to act up my character, but I'm pretty much, I would say, myself for the most part. As I said, sometimes I like to play a character as well. I usually describe myself as being an exaggerated version of myself when I'm streaming, because I told you when I'm playing games by myself, right, when I'm not live streaming, you don't hear a single word coming out of my mouth. Like, I'm not very loud or verbal when I'm playing a game. The only thing that you might hear out of my mouth is curse words when I'm losing, like frick. That's it. Otherwise, I'm locked in. When I'm streaming and when I'm playing offline, I'm completely locked in. I'm only looking at the screen, and that's it. Not saying a single word. Obviously, I cannot do that when I'm streaming a game. I cannot just stand here, not say a word. It's not possible. So you're pretty much getting what you hear and what you see from me, but it's just like a slightly exaggerated version of myself. So I'm very happy that people can still, well, enjoy my content and want to be a part of my community, even though I'm basically the opposite of what is currently very trending, right? Like the biggest creators on Twitch and on YouTube and on Kick are ones who are very loud and who are very polarizing, and that is good for them. I'm not like pointing the finger at them and saying that is bad, or if you're enjoying that type of content, it's bad. I'm just saying that I'm kind of like the opposite of what is like cool and trendy. I mean, I'm cool in my own way. I'm just saying that I could never be as popular and big as IShowSpeed, because I literally don't have the energy for that. Like, seriously, like IShowSpeed, I love his content. I love IShowSpeed. Like, he travels the world and he's so full of energy. He's also 10 years younger than me, so that's one of those factors. Maybe I would have felt different about streaming when, like, Twitch. If Twitch would have been around when I was 16, I can guarantee you I would have done certain, like, other types of things, because I did play football actively, and I did breakdancing as well with my best friend, so that would have been awesome content, I think, live streaming content, and we did lots of shenanigans as well. But the thing is, Twitch wasn't a thing when I was 16 or 18. It just didn't exist. Sure, we had YouTube, but the accessibilities of cameras wasn't like nobody. Everyone currently with the smartphone generation or the smartphone era, everyone has like a multifunctional multimedia system basically in their pockets. Excuse me. Even the cheapest, like $50 smartphones you can get, they have fantastic camera quality, they have fantastic video quality. They allow you to edit your footage. Like, you basically have a mini PC for $50 nowadays. Like, we did not have that when I was a teenager. Oh, you hear those sounds? Oh, it's getting close to 12 a.m. Oh, that is a myth. The twin brother thing is a myth. But do you Do you think alike? You probably think alike, right? Do you share the same hobbies? Also, the thing that you said when like people introduce you to VTubers and then all of a sudden, like you usually like fall into a rabbit hole. Same happened to me. I literally only knew of the existence of the VTubers, right? But I never saw them anywhere. My feed was not filled with VTubers, like on Twitch. I did not follow anyone like 5 years ago, right? Like I literally only knew about Kizuna AI, but I never seen anything from Kizuna AI. I just knew that Kizuna AI existed, right? That it was some like virtual YouTuber based in Japan. I was like, of course it's Japan, because Japan is always ahead of us technologically. So that is the only thing I knew about just virtual YouTubers. I didn't even know there were multiple VTubers. I just knew that there was something that exists there over on Japan. Never saw anything, neither on YouTube, neither on Twitter, or on Twitch. And then it just requires, this is why I'm saying it's like getting into VTubing is almost like opening like the door of Narnia, right? The second you engage with one video, your entire timeline all of a sudden is VTubers. It is so weird why like that it is such a secret niche almost, like it is completely hidden away from your feed until you engage with one of those VTuber videos. Then all of a sudden YouTube goes, hey, have you seen this person? Have you seen that person? Have you seen this content? Have you seen Iron Mouse? Do you know who Bao the Whale is? Like there's millions of VTuber videos all of a sudden who open up to you and are being shown and shoved into your face. So I had the exact same experience basically, IK theme, where I went from 0 to 100 basically with VTuber content. We're total opposites. He's deeply into art and loves cars and driving. I'm deeply into aviation. I don't like cars that much. I mean, but you still like transportation. It's just he likes the cars and you like the planes. Hi, fanboy. Hello. Happy New Year to you. I mean, fanboy's from Denmark, so it's not the New Year yet, but still. I'm not gonna be live at 12 a.m., so I'm just gonna wish you a happy New Year already. Happy New Year's. Wait, let me take a look at my list. We went through 2 points of my list. God damn it, I should have known that I yapped too much to get through. But yeah, we covered the YouTube partner status as a big win. We covered content pivoting and just getting a lot of experience with uploading videos as a huge win. One smaller win, some might say it's not really a big deal, right? But for me it was a big deal because we commissioned Halloween and Christmas emotes this year. Something I did not do last year because I was still a bit, I don't know, maybe I'm still a bit depressed because of my cat. Like I didn't even know whether we have Halloween streams this year or Christmas streams. I still commissioned it and I feel very, very good about it. Because like I do want to still give the community a sense that I care and I care about our community, and that I want to offer you some value as well. It's just that this year, at the second part of this year, I kind of like gave myself up a bit and I was like, what's the point in commissioning Halloween emotes if I'm not gonna have a Halloween stream? We did have a Halloween stream. So I was wrong. This is why I'm saying I unfortunately never adopted my parents' mentality of life, because my parents, they just take life how it is, and if something bad happens, they know that will fade, right? When something bad happens, my parents are always like, this will be over, don't worry about it. Like it's just, it sucks now, of course, but in a year from now, 3 years from now, you won't think about it. And I adopted like the opposite mentality where I can like ruin my mood by thinking about things that did not even happen yet or never even will happen, right? Like I ruined my mood for not having like not being able to have a Halloween stream, and then I just ended up having a Halloween stream. You know what I mean? Like 2 weeks before I did my Halloween stream, I was like, I don't have enough time to prepare. I did not even commission Halloween emotes yet. This shit sucks. I wanted to be ready at the start of October, right? Now I have nothing, and like all of those worries, they were like completely in vain, because we ended up having a Halloween stream. It was a shorter one, but it doesn't matter. And this type of mentality, hopefully, I'm gonna knock on wood, hopefully I get to change it a bit, where I'm not just gonna ruin my day for things that never happened or are not even gonna happen, right? It's the pessimistic, always assuming the worst case scenario type of mentality that protects me from being disappointed, but that never really works either, because I'm gonna like get disappointed anyways. It's a coping mechanism, but it's a bad one. It's a very, very bad coping mechanism. So yeah, we did commission emotes. That was the huge win of 2025. We got some pretty cute emotes. Some of my favorite, like my 2 favorite emotes from this year. Shit, I don't think I have it still, but I can just blend it in here. I have 2 favorite emotes that we created this year, because it also leans into my next point. I just need to find it here. It was the Halloween emote. Yeah. Let me just create an image. Image, browse. Vtuber Jinyo. Jinyo emotes, Halloween emotes. This one. There you go. Oh shit. What did I do? Where did it go? Ah, there it is. Oh, wait, why did it flip around? Alright. Yeah, this is one of my favorite emotes that we created this year. Because it also leans in with our new identity. Or it's not a new identity, but it is a definite identity now. Remember last year when I started Jinyo? When I basically went from a different kind of VTuber model to Jinyo, it came with a very, very big and complicated lore. A lot of people still don't know, especially people who joined us recently. They look at my model and they don't really understand what kind of VTuber are you? Because most VTubers have like a theme, right? Like Shy Lily is a whale, is an orca, right? Bao is a whale. Almost every VTuber you know usually comes with a certain type of theme. They look at my VTuber and they're like, what are you? Like, what are you supposed to represent? And the short answer is white tiger. The long answer is pretty much it's more complicated, and I kind of ditched the more complicated part because I don't think I have the funds and the talent needed in order to make sure that people understand the lore of Jinyo. Because I'm just gonna drop some things, okay? The hair. Jinyo is based on a manga idea I have of a Shonen Jump protagonist called Jin, who grows up in Shintora, which is a town, and in that world there is many different martial artist clans. So there's the Tiger Clan, there is the Crane Clan, there's the Monkey Clan, there's the Eagle Clan, you get me. Each one of those clans, they have a distinct fighting style. Kung Fu, basically. So one uses the tiger style, one uses the eagle style, one is using the snake style, right? And there is, the lore of Jinyo is basically that he is the one and only person in that manga lore who can master all styles. He's the master of all classes. And it's because he has the power of the legendary warrior who brings balance to life. He's basically the avatar. And this is where the yin and yang tattoo comes in place that I have here. which I'm gonna show you. It's very complicated, and people just cannot really see it when they... Oops, I just deleted cat host. I cannot go full nude, I think. But you see this tattoo? It's basically I don't want to spoil that much, but it's basically what allows him to not only just master one style, because every other person is just born with an affinity, right? It's like their Kekkei Genkai from Naruto. So they are born with, for example, only the affinity to learn the tiger style. That's it. They can only master the tiger style, nothing else. And Jinyo is supposed to be the only person who can master everything. And one thing I'm also gonna drop, which is like a huge spoiler, but it doesn't really matter. The reason why my hair is the exact same way it is because Jin represents one part of that like legendary warrior essence. That is why his hair is white and black, right? That's why I told you my model might look a bit like simple, but it is very deep, very deep. And as you can see, the white part of the yin and yang symbol, which means like there's always a bit of evil in the good, right? And the black part is basically there's always a bit of good and evil. This is basically what my hairstyle represents. Jin is basically the yin part of like the warrior essence. You know? Like he has white hair and like the black spots. Do you see it? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That was the original idea for Jinyo the VTuber, but I also noticed this is way too complicated. Like people will just not see it. Like I might be able to see it because I know all of the lore, but a random ass person who comes and joins our community, they just don't, like, it's not very apparent. And the starting position, basically, you could say, or the starting Kung Fu style that Jinyo learns and grows up with, his starting affinity is basically the tiger style. And this is why also he wears a tiger tooth necklace. But once again, I think that was a bit too complicated in general. So at the beginning of this year or in the middle of this year, I just decided to oh, wait. Chat disappeared. The hair colors also match the design elements of the white tiger. Was that intentional or considered? No, it was intentional as well. It's like both the yin symbol, but also white tiger, because that is basically his starting affinity. Because he gets raised in the white tiger clan, right? So that is basically how we start. It's basically how Aang the avatar is basically an airbender, right? But he gets to learn and master everything. But essentially, at its core, he's still an airbender, right? This is the starting point. And same with Jin. So he is basically a tiger style, like a tiger style user. That is his affinity. But he is also allowed to learn everything. And hopefully one day, like this is just a dream, okay? Maybe we can actually turn this into like a short story. Maybe not a full-fledged manga, but I would love to just tell the story of Jinyo, Master of All Classes. This story is heavily inspired by so many things I grew up with, like Naruto, obviously, with all the different styles, Avatar. But the number one inspiration for this was actually one of my favorite movies from Jackie Chan. Snake in the Eagle's Shadow. The Eagle's Shadow. We gotta watch this movie someday together. It's basically Jackie as an orphan, right? And he gets bullied. We're not gonna watch everything, right? I just want to show you some parts. But it's basically him getting bullied because he's an orphan, and the master, one of these substitute masters, they always treat him like shit. All he wants to do is learn a bit of kung fu, right? But he's basically used as like a cleaning lady while everyone else gets to learn kung fu and whatnot, and he always has to clean. And when he's slacking off, he usually gets bullied by these freaking like substitute people, right? And then I don't want to spoil everything because we're gonna we're gonna watch the movie one day, I promise. The entire movie is on YouTube that you can watch. We probably won't even get copyright strike because it's such an old movie. But basically what happens is that he finds this old guy, apparently just an old guy, right? And he helps him out. There, like, some people try to like beat the shit out of him, and Jackie is nice enough to help him out because he just sees him as like an old guy being bullied by some people, and he was like, hey, stop bullying him, right? Like, stop hitting him, he's just an old man. So in return, you can guess it, old man teaches Jackie Chan how to fight, and he's teaching him the snake style. And the snake style is a bit inferior to the eagle style in this movie. So Jackie finds a way, and this is the part where I don't want to spoil anymore. Jackie basically finds a way to beat the eagle style. And I think I'm gonna make what Jackie is using also part of the Jinyo manga, if it ever gets created. Like, because the way he learns how to beat eagle style is very funny. I don't want to steal everything, I still want to create my original stuff, but it's just too good to pass on. But yeah, the hair color is definitely also White Tiger style. That was all on purpose. But for 2025, I just decided, hey, you know what? In order to make things a bit easier to understand, we're just gonna be the White Tiger community, okay? White Tiger VTuber, White Tiger community. The karma stuff, the master of all classes stuff, and all of that lore, we can do that maybe in 3, 4, 5 years. Like, okay, but for now, I think that was just my creative juice going crazy and me thinking that we could accomplish all of these things in like a short amount of time. But you gotta have like huge funds for this, or a bunch of volunteers, like a bunch of people who are nice enough to help you with that idea, right? But this is gonna probably cost like $100,000. I'm not even joking. So it was a bit too much as VTuber lore, but that doesn't mean that Jinyo's like less of like a, like, that he has less of a lore. It's just that on the surface, let me just say, on the surface level, we're gonna be the White Tiger community, and then the more funds we have in the future, the deeper we can scoop out that lore, basically. But for now, I think it makes a lot of sense if we just streamline it a bit and simplify it, and just to like make people understand what we are about. And this is also one of the goals that I have for next year. But I'm jumping topics. I actually still have a list of things we need to do for next year. I may know the movie, it looks familiar. It is one of the greatest movies, in my opinion, from Jackie Chan. It is very old. It's like a little Cinderella story almost. Yeah, it's really good. Let me take a look on my list. What else do we have to talk about? Oh yeah, some beautiful community members that joined our channel in the last couple of months. Including Icathian, including Fanboy, including Crowley, but there was one who was like very like exceptional when it comes to that, right? Everyone is beautiful in our community. I don't have any favorites, but Cloudy did a ton of fan art for us, so that is just something that I'm very grateful for, because just like at our like size, it's usually not very common that people like draw fan art for you, right? So having someone who is like dedicated on this, like creating some beautiful art for our community, that is awesome. So please make sure to also show like Cloudy some love. She did a bunch of things for us. Look at this. And she also did like animations. She included me in some short animations as well, but this is pretty cool. I'm also happy to see how Cloudy improves as an artist over the time, because she's still very young and tons of things she can still improve upon and learn. So I would be honored to see that entire progress in a couple of years from now. I wish I still had footage from like my recordings, my first few recordings 5 years ago, because the longer you can look back, the better you can basically compare yourself usually. Right now, if I would compare myself to yesterday, obviously, I would think that I did not make any progress as a content creator. But if I could just look at the beginning of the year, or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I think I definitely made progress as a content creator. I'm still learning. Even after 5 years, I think I still barely scratched the surface, and I still make tons of mistakes, and there's still tons of things that I can improve upon. But I'm definitely a better, I would say, objectively speaking, better content creator than I was 5 years ago. So that is very nice of Cloudy. I also love that I have the Unk role, right? I do enjoy that role, like being an Unk. I'm not the youngest content creator either, but I don't get depressed by it. Some people get very defensive when it comes to their age, especially on the internet. 30 plus is being considered an ancient, right? Like you're a grandpa when you're 30 plus and still on the internet. But I think it actually makes my commentary a bit more unique than if I would be like 21 or 18, because I do have a bit more experience than most people who watch my content, or most younger people, I should say, who watch my content. So my reactions, I think, when I add a bit of life advice and life slicing on top of it, right? I think that is the thing that adds actual value to my reactions. So yeah, thank you once again, Cloudy, if you watch this later on maybe. Thank you so much for just this beautiful art. It makes me very, very happy that I have one dedicated community member who just like, this is the one that cracked me up, because I love Animal Crossing. I also played Animal Crossing a couple of years ago on this channel, and to have my own villager version of Jinyo, this one is probably my favorite one of your creations. So thank you once again, Cloudy. Hope to see more of it next year. No pressure. But also like this is just 1 year progress, right? If you compare this art to this one, for example, or to this one, that's like a huge improvement already. And that's just 1 year. Just wait until we see what kind of progress Cloudy makes 5 years from now or 10 years from now. Hopefully I'll still be around 10 years. 10 years, crazy. Would you watch a 40-plus-year-old VTuber in 2035? That would be crazy. I mean, technology is also going to be incredible in that time. Maybe we're gonna have like full-fledged Unreal Engine 5 type of VTubers, where you can just like move around like IRL, right? With VR and shit like that. Krogley, hello, happy new year to you as well. Welcome. How are you doing? Are you already drunk? Has the New Year's drinking already started? Alright, so that is Cloudy Tigers at Cloudy Tigers Animations. Once again, Cloudy, appreciate all the art you did for me, and well, hope to see more in the future. So that was that part. That was one of the points I wanted to mention. So community growth, fan animation, fan art, beautiful new members in the Jinyu Force. I've mentioned that. We mentioned emotes, content pivot, YouTube partner status, gaming peak. No, gaming peak we haven't talked about yet, but we can do that in a second. Identity clarity, I think we talked about, right? Identity clarity is basically we are white tigers until I say otherwise, right? Until we can add more detail to the Jinyo lore, because the Jinyo lore goes deep, but my pockets don't. So for now, for the unforeseeable future, we're gonna be the white tiger community and white tiger onlys. Let's not overcomplicate things. And this will also, I will also mention some things with the goals that we have for next year. But my final point for the things that we did right, I would say in 2025 was also gaming peak. Like we did play some nice games, even though it could have been more, right? But we did play some nice ones, including, not limited to, Expedition 33. Game of the year, game of the century, game of the decade. When you watch my entire Clair Obscur playthrough, you know how much I love this game. You know how immersed I was in the story and how deeply impacted it me, because it came out around a time where everything that happened in the story was something I was dealing with. Turning 33, trying to enjoy life when there's not a lot of time left, like death looming over my head, basically. It was literally Expedition 33 in the year I turned 33. And then loss, letting go of sorrow, having to move on from someone passing away, and all of that came like the exact right time. Like this game, I will never forget. As I said, it might not be the perfect game for in people's eyes, right? And in some other RPG lovers' eyes, it might just be a normal ass RPG, right? For me, it is something incredibly special because it came out in a very special year as well. So it is easily in my top 5, and I'll never forget Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Pure bliss that we played this, and also not a surprise that it won 12 awards at the Game Awards, including Game of the Year. And if you haven't played this already, you should. It is really good. It is really good. I'm not exactly sure what we're doing here in the playlist. I just wanted to show you the thumbnail initially. But there's an entire playlist for you to check out if you want to. Best game I've ever played in the last 5 years. Hands down. Hands down, this is the best game we've played in the last 5 years. I'm not drunk yet, but I just finished stream and I have paranoia from avoiding hornet in house in my summer car. You have hornets in your summer car or in your house? Are hornets still like doing like wrecking havoc right now? Because usually hornets or wasps and bees in general, they like during winter, there's no sign of them, right? Don't some colonies just straight up die out during winter? Oh, my summer car is a game. I thought you actually have a summer car. That is funny. So you ended 2025 by playing one final game. That is nice. I don't think we get to play something before the stream ends. But yesterday we played a little bit of Genshin Squadra, and surprise, surprise, I sucked balls. I'm so good when I'm playing offline. I swear the moment I stream, like, either I get better opponents or I just suck straight up. Okay, it's time for the big ones. This was basically the warm-up. This was just the warm-up. Now we have to actually create the thing that we will look back on a year from now and see how much we have accomplished. This is why I also wanted to live stream the New Year's resolution stuff. I'm just gonna restart the playlist. Sorry for listening to Christmas playlists, but the other playlists, they usually have like 1 or 2 copyrighted songs in there, and since we're multi-streaming to YouTube, I did not want to risk the thing, like the YouTube live stream getting taken down or shit like that, so I just went with Stream Beats playlist. It's just a very safe bet. I know for a fact that this playlist is not copyrighted or doesn't include any copyrighted songs, so I just went with that. But yeah, let us get back to business. Also, I just need to stop flexing my body. I need to go away. Where's the... There we go. Good. Alright. I peed over the store, broke into old mansion with a tractor, drank 10 beer bottles in tractor, stole wheels, fixed old Satsuma a bit. It was a productive day. I don't know the game at all, my summer car. So it's like a... Is it a simulator? But that does sound like a productive game. Or a productive day. Okay, so I have 3 categories that... Let me show you. Good. One is... Let's go with an H1. Must-haves. Right? So these are... If I don't accomplish these things, whatever these may be, I'll quit. Literally. This is like... Do or die situation. Like, if I cannot, by the end of 2026, I must add must-haves by the end of 2026. Okay? Like, if I don't have whatever we're, like, writing down right here, that's just, like, don't bother anymore. Okay? Then we have nice to haves. Right? And then there is... like dreams, right? Like this would be cool. This would be cool type of things, but not necessary, right? Like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? So like we need an H1 for this and an H1 for that. Okay, absolute must-haves. Let me see what I wrote down. It's like, I didn't want to freestyle these type of things because I knew if I would freestyle this, we would never finish the stream. I'll show you a short clip on Discord. Okay. You can send a clip. It will explain a lot. Okay. Okay, must-haves. What did I write? Must-haves. Absolute clarity. Absolute clarity. And I think I meant content, right? Yeah. Yeah, no more... No, yeah. Okay, this means, like, content-wise. So, we know what to like, do, right? For the channel. What to... Let me just say, what to upload. On the YouTube channel. No more wasting time on... guessing how to structure the stream, for example, right? No more ifs. That doesn't mean no more spontaneous stuff. Spontaneous stuff. It just means structure, first and foremost, okay? Structure, this is very important, like professionalism in a sense. I don't want to sit here in 2026 and then tell you, oh, for 2027, I don't know what type of content I should be doing, what type of reactions I should be doing, what type of games I should play. Like, if that is still a question mark by the end of 2026, I'm not gonna bother anymore. Like, seriously, at that point, imagine being a car dealership, no, a car manufacturer, and you don't know what car to build after 5 years. Like, at that point, you might not want to be a car manufacturer, right? At that point, maybe you should think about bikes. Maybe, or bicycles. Or skateboards. Maybe you're better off doing skateboards and manufacturing skateboards. So this is a must-have. This is something that I said, like, it doesn't matter how many views we get, it doesn't matter how many uploads, but what matters is that I have an absolute clarity when it comes to the content plan. No more questioning, no more should I be uploading, like, just take a look at this channel, right? We're gonna go back to the videos, back to this era. Gacha, Minecraft, gacha, drama, the daily dose of internet, personal stuff, personal goals, motivational video, gaming highlights, Ghost of Tsushima reveal, daily dose of internet, anime essay, behind the scenes from the One Piece live action, another anime essay, gaming trailer, anime essay, IRL content, anime essay, some other anime related stuff, Mr. Beast video, PlayStation State of Play, live action trailer. You get my point. Oh wait, you did not see anything. Whoops. You did not see anything. But you get my point. Like, no more chop suey content. Okay? No more chop suey content is basically what it means. If that is still a thing, once again, if that is still a thing by the end of 2026, and I'm still confused as to what to create and how to create and what to do during streams. I mean, streams can be a bit more free, right? But for the YouTube channel, for our growth factory, which is the YouTube channel, it is the place where the growth should be coming from. There needs to be absolute clarity. If I'm still going to be confused a year from now, and that doesn't mean not making mistakes, right? Because you can make content mistakes, but there needs to be one clear lane, one river, as I told you earlier, one lane that we drive on, and no, like, there shouldn't be any question marks anymore, because that shit is stressing me out, and it is also stealing a lot of time. This constantly guessing what to do leads to paralysis, right? It leads to content paralysis. No more. I think in the live stream description for our live stream, I wrote some pretty nice things. Let me see. Live. Can I still look at our live description even though we are live? Is that possible? Oh yeah, I can. Okay, good. I wrote, the goals I have should serve as a guideline and not a deadline. I mean, for the must-have goals, it is a deadline. For everything else, not. 2026 should serve as the year of identity and clarity. Like, no more, what the hell is Jinyo? Jinyo is the white tiger, and the Jinyu Force is the white tiger community, right? Like, you're my white tiger cubs. Not cubs, you're all adults for the most part, so cubs would be a dumb word. You're part of my elite force, the Jinyu Force. Serve as the year of identity and clarity. Okay. No more guessing, no more indecisiveness, more action, more learning by doing, and not learning, theorizing, demoralizing, and paralysis. 5 years of content creation ends today. I will let go of the past failures and even the past wins. That shit doesn't matter anymore. Tomorrow is a new chapter. Okay? 1st of January, nothing matters that happened in the last 5 years. The many rebrands that I did, the IRL face that I had with my actual body, right? But the mask that I was wearing, nothing matters anymore. Starting tomorrow, I'm Jinyo, the white tiger, who's supposed to bring balance back to the world. And you, my community, you are the Jinyu Force, and you are also part of the white tiger community. You're all white tigers. That is it. That is all we need to know lore-wise for now. And the content that will happen on YouTube is mostly just chatting and reactions. Specifically reactions that are anime adjacent for a while. And that is it. That is all I want to do for a while and see if it works or not. If it doesn't work, surely we have to pivot content anyways, right? But if it does work, we'll keep going. And the gaming part of YouTube will only stay on Twitch. Like, no more gaming on YouTube. That's over. Maybe in the future we can expand to like gaming anime games or something like that, but for now, no more confusing the algorithm, right? No more confusing people that discover our channel. There's one purpose, and that purpose is to bring them into our community and hopefully get more people into the live streams. That is the goal for 2026. Good, but that was the must-haves is absolute clarity and identity. That's it. That is the most important thing. Is there something else? Yeah, that's pretty much the only must-have I want. And as I said, if this approach doesn't work, like if the lane that we are on doesn't work, then we pivot. So must-have is also a content pivot. Content pivot if the needle doesn't move, right? That is one thing. Can we create a list out of this? Yeah. That's pretty much it. Those are the must-haves. This is the bare minimum. Maybe I shouldn't call this must-have. Maybe I should call this like bare minimum by the end of 2026. This is the absolute bare minimum. If we don't have this by the end of 2026, I don't think anyone would be sorry or like would be sad if we end things, right? Because then if I cannot even do the bare minimum, then I'm just not meant to be a content creator at all. Not even a hobby content creator. This is just not the hobby for me. I should just look for a different hobby, right? So I think this is something I need to... Everyone needs a bit of pressure. Everyone needs a bit of structure. And I need to put the structure on myself. Like if I cannot do the bare minimum for the entirety of the next 12 months, right? And the attempt of doing that does also count, right? Nothing is gonna be perfect next year all of a sudden. I'm well aware of that. Also, like unexpected things can happen. Knock on wood, hopefully they won't. But as I said, if I drop that tomorrow, I cannot do the list. I cannot do the bare minimum. Good, nice to haves. Nice to haves. I have a bunch of cool things. Jinyo 2.0 concept art. I already know how Jinyo 2.0 needs to look like. But I need to commission someone, obviously, to do it. And then rigging is another thing. Rigging, I would say, if we can afford it, by 2027, a Jinyo 2.0 release. No, you know what? I'm not gonna add this because this is more of a dream. This goes in here, not here. But I would say like having the concept art made for Jinyo 2.0, so you know what you are getting yourself into, because there are some elements that used to be part of my brand before, which I kind of ditched. And I didn't ditch it because I didn't like it. It's just that I thought it might be a bit too much, right? Some elements will come back. You'll see. You'll see. I'm not gonna vague post the entire time, but you'll see. So Jinyo 2.0 would be nice to have. A mascot. Because I already told you when my cat Zimby passed away that Zimby is always gonna be a part of my channel in some way or form. And the mascot is a way... I mean, he's also gonna be part of the manga, but in the manga he will actually look closer to my actual cat, right? But I think for our VTuber stream, the mascot should represent both, well, the soul of my cat and also our community. So the mascot is most likely gonna be a chibi tiger, like our emotes. Chibi white tiger, which is basically, I would say, like the soul of Zimby. This is my attempt of immortalizing him. He might just look a bit different. The initial idea is to make the mascot the same mascot as Zimby in the manga, but Zimby in the manga is a bit more complicated and people will not get it. People will not understand, okay, why do you have why does your cat look like that? I want to avoid that, so we're gonna go with the safe bet. Mascot chibi, white tiger would be nice. At the very least, I'm just gonna type at the very least the concept of it, right? If we cannot make it like an actual mascot with an actual toggle, then the concept. I'm gonna add this to the dream section as well. Good. Networking. I have no friends in this in this scene. Literally 0 friends. So just some more friends in the scene, I would say, who pursue same ideals and or content, right? And with ideals I mean like maybe we have the same goals, right? Maybe we have like at like similar like points of understanding of our content. Maybe we want to do more but cannot do more with just our like being ourselves, like a lone wolf. I have no issues being another like being a lone wolf for another year, but this is also the reason why I applied for this content group. It's because after so many years it would be nice to just have people to pull on the same strings, right? Doesn't have to be like the next FaZe clan. Not a 0 offers of 7 days still stands, but later than expected because a lot happened. Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't mean to totally ignore you, Krogly. I mean more in the sense of like long-term stuff, like an actual content group and whatnot. I recently applied to a content group to dish out ideas and also learn from the content group I applied for. Like all of them are Twitch partners, so they definitely know things I don't know, right? I'm not how do I say it? I'm not stupid enough to claim that I have all the answers, and just because I've been doing this for a couple of years now is that I know more than other people. So I'm still willing to learn. Like I have no issues in accepting that my content is not where it should be or where it can be, and if I can get a bit of help from outside, I would gladly take it. Like if I could learn from a partner, even if they don't like accept me into the content group, I don't care. Like, but if they could offer me advice at least. I shouldn't say at least. It's not like it's the bare minimum, right? That I would be grateful for anything at this point. So networking, I would say, it sounds a bit corporate-y, but what I really mean is like people with the same goals or similar goals, or people that just know more and could give me advice, right? Never too late to learn. So this is like nice to have. I have some big ones and I'm a bit scared to like write them down, because once you write them down they become real, right? First of all, let me just do Catboy June was a horrible I completely, you know, every June, because that was the month my cat was born, that passed away. I want to dedicate every single June from now on to playing like cat related games, and that could be everything. This year I tried 9 Souls and I stopped doing it because I got a bit frustrated with the game. So I kind of felt like I ruined the tribute to my cat, and I ruined what could be a cool tradition going forward in our community, especially now that we're embracing the White Tiger identity completely. Having 1 month completely dedicated to being Catboy June. That is also why I have this whoops, why I have this, well, channel reward, right? This is basically how I looked like during the entirety of June. And I kind of, as I said, I kind of blew it by just, you know, being in my head again, because I thought that I kind of like ruined the tribute to my cat, and I ruined this month, and that was just, I didn't feel good. So for 2026, we're gonna do Catboy June again, but the proper way. Okay, it's a celebration after all. After all. Oops. So maybe we're gonna call it Tiger Boy June. be on brand now. So we're gonna try again in June. Which also brings me to the next nice to have is professional planning. Something I wanted to do last year, actually. This was one of the goals I wanted to achieve last year, and that means just planning events for our community as well. Planning events in a timely is it timely? No, it's timely, right? Looks so weird. Timely manner. Meaning planning a Halloween event, for example, in, let me just say, July, instead of 2 days prior to the actual deadline or event, right? This is something I wanted to do last year as well. So if I'm planning a Christmas event, the Christmas event should have been planned and almost done basically, I would say, by the end of October at the very least, right? And not start with the planning on December 1st. Obviously, in some cases, I got sick as well a couple of times this year. And in some cases, that just planning months ahead cannot be done, right? Because there's always something that can come in the way, right? But preferably, even if it's a week before the event, I want to have some planning time. I want to do this for Valentine's Day this year, for Easter this year, for Catboy June, for Halloween, for Thanksgiving, for maybe not all of them, but definitely the bigger ones like Christmas and Halloween. I want to have an event planned and prepared before the event starts, not on the same day or week. So I just called it professional planning, but this also includes community events. We're gonna do them again. As I always say that I would love to grow this community so we can go back to community events, right? But we can do smaller ones. Who cares? And let's just do I don't know. Let us strive for I don't know, one type of community event this year. Obviously, it would be better to have more, but if it's and with community event, I don't mean just playing Fortnite together on a Sunday. That's not a community event. That is just a community streaming day. What I mean by this is like an actual small tournament of some sort, or something like we did last year that we didn't do this year, the pumpkin carving, like something that we do as a community. Everyone participates. How many people there participate doesn't matter. If it's one person, it's one person. We're gonna do it anyways, and then I'll try my best to give a bit of an incentive, right? Maybe a nice spooky game to give away during Halloween, during the pumpkin carving contest, something like that. Appreciate us again, and appreciate us as a community again. Appreciate the people who come and watch the streams, and not make it always sound like just because we are two people in the stream, like as I don't want it to come out as if I'm not appreciating the time people are spending here. I always say this, right? But sometimes my actions may make it look like that is the case, right? Sometimes I feel like when I say things like, if we don't have enough people watching the streams, community streams don't make a lot of sense, right? It might sound like I'm not appreciating the 2 people, 3 people, or 4 people who are watching, right? But that is not the case. It's the opposite, actually. So we're gonna have this list. Do I have more? Oh yeah, this is the big one, and you might laugh because we barely scratched the 2 concurrent viewer surface the entirety of the year. But I also did not stream that much. But we gotta aim for the stars, man. If we don't aim for something higher and we always play ourselves down and devalue us, right, and think that we cannot achieve something like that, then we won't achieve anything like that, right? Hello Sans, happy early New Year's to you as well. Thank you so much and welcome to the stream. We are 4 hours away from Happy New Year, from 2026, and I'm currently listing the things that I would love to have in 2026 with the channel, especially all the good things that happened this year. We did not talk about the bad things because the bad things don't matter. Literally don't matter. I've been doing this for 5 years now, started in 2020, this is 2025, tomorrow it's 2026, and literally the last 5 years, that chapter is closed now. I think we have a lane to work with now. I think we have a clear community identity now. We are White Tigers, that is it. You can still call me Panda, like the people who've been with me for a couple of years. You can still call me Panda, like I don't mind, like I will not scold you for that. But like if you rewatch the streams, you're gonna like see all of the positives that happened and what I'm aiming for the next year, and then also going into 2027. Like I have the next 2 years basically set up in my mind, and hopefully it will go my way. I downplay and downvalue myself 24/7. It's a coping mechanism, Sans, and I'm with you. But that shit needs to stop. No, that's what makes me today. It needs to stop. It is a coping mechanism. It is your brain trying to prevent disappointment, but it also is actively hurting you, because if you always think of yourself as not being able to achieve better things and not being deserving of better things, and always making yourself, I mean, it's a part of ADHD as well, like the downward spiral and the negativity spiral. But it will manifest yourself, because your brain literally doesn't matter if you just are, if like fiction or reality, it doesn't matter for your brain. So if you imagine, if you have a vivid fantasy and you imagine yourself dying, it literally creates like basically like negative thoughts, and that can shift your chemical mix in the body, and it could make you sad, right? So even imagining bad things can lead to you actually physically being bad and feeling bad, and that shit needs to stop. I'm also very guilty of that, where I'm always like, the world is ending tomorrow, right? This type of mentality that doesn't come from my parents. Once again, like my parents are the opposite, so I'm not exactly sure where I got this from. But it is something that I must have picked up in my early years, because I'm a natural conflict avoider. And I also, like, if I for example go into an interview, I assume that the worst happens. If I go into an exam, I assume that I will not pass. If like this has always been me, because in my mind I think like, okay, if I do actually pass, if I do actually get the job, right, then it's like, you know, it's a win-win, so to speak. If I don't get it, I told myself that I didn't get it. I do not get it, right? So I cannot be disappointed. And if I do get it, then I base the opposite of what I told myself happened. But it is not a good mentality to have, and you should always strive for the best and think of the best. Not be delusional, right? And not be like be overly confident is what I'm trying to say. Not delusional, but also not like devalue your worth. Add gambling to the list. No, I won't. I don't want to change. If I'm in this way, my friends can have nice and happy things. I'm not saying you should change. I'm just saying that it is something like, even if you wanted to change, that is something you cannot change from one day to another, right? You're probably just like me, very empathetic, very... It sounds so shitty when you say something like that about yourself, right? So positive things. Because usually the people who claim to be nice people are not nice people at all, right? But I'm also like, my heart usually bleeds for other people more than it bleeds for myself, and it is kind of I guess it's like a blessing and a curse to have, right? There's definitely positive to things, but it also leads to a personality that is being used a lot, and people run over personalities like us because they take favors and they never return them because you don't expect them to be returned. It's just the way it is. But to get back to my point, that's why I was a bit hesitant of putting this in here. But I don't give a shit, because I believe in our new type sense of identity, and I think I have now a clear plan. Whether the plan will work out or not, that is a different question. But I'm aiming for 20 CCV by the end of next year. This is nice to haves, okay? This is not must haves. This is our bare minimum. This is just, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then shit happens. If we get to half of this, like 10 CCV, that would be nice too. But let's aim for the stars, okay? 20 CCV. This would basically bring us back to our average that we had 5 years ago, actually. So going back to that number would be nice. And this is both, wait, this is YouTube plus Twitch, okay? Since I want to do more multi-streaming. So a combined. So if we have 10 people watching 10 CCV on YouTube and 10 concurrent viewers on Twitch, that to me is a combined 20, okay? Just a note for us in the future, because we might look back at this this exact thing in a year from now, and then compare and see how far we got. If at the end of the day, in 12 months, it is 5 CCV, it doesn't matter, because what is more important is this thing over here, right? And if we can put a check mark at the end of this, and we only like reach half of the stuff that is on this list, I'm fine with that too. Let me see if I did not forget anything. We have Catboy June. Oh, this is just an optional thing, but since we are separating gaming completely from YouTube, YouTube will just be reactions and just chatting stuff, right? Personal stuff, maybe like personal life updates. I want to talk a bit more about the goals and shit like that, or my opinions on certain things. Right now, I do that as well, but I usually do it through the commentary of the video that I'm reacting, right? But hopefully I'll be able to do more stuff where I just, you know, record myself and talking about my opinion on the new One Punch Man season. or stuff like that. Right now I have troubles fitting that in without having a video that I'm reacting to that I can bounce off from, right? I'm very horrible, I feel like, recording myself just expressing a thought. Not during a live stream for some reason. Like I can talk. I've been talking for almost 2 hours straight now. I have no issues doing that, but the second I'm offline, I'm not live recording myself and just recording myself offline, I can't do it. I really can't do it. I cannot. I don't know why. But since we are separating the gaming part off of YouTube, and Twitch basically gonna have both. Twitch is gonna have the reactions and the just chatting and the gaming. And YouTube is just gonna have reactions and just chatting just to create a clear identity. So not to confuse people anymore on our channel, because there's still some videos on our channel, for example. If we take a look at the popular shorts, there's still people who watch this short, for example, and there's still people who watch the Ghost of Tsushima. Like, Ghost of Tsushima video gets like 10 views almost every single day. And when these types of people who watch the short then check out our channel, let's just say they watch the short, they're like, oh cool, this is a pretty cool gaming creator, right? And then they click on our channel and it's just, there's no gaming. Where's the gaming? I mean, the gaming is here, but I've stopped pretty much doing live stream. The last gaming live stream we had was in our Halloween stream, but before that, this was the last thing we streamed 5 months ago. So yeah, I kind of want to change that and stop confusing people. Oh wait, I did not show you. That's fine. You did not see the screen. I just showed you my channel, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So this is basically, to get back to my point, I want to play more games again. Since we have clarity now, or supposed to have clarity in 2026, and YouTube is not gonna have gaming anymore. Let me elaborate. Since YouTube is going to be our discovery engine via just chatting and reaction content, it literally does not matter what kind of games we are going to enjoy on the Twitch side of things, as gaming won't be used for growth / content purposes anymore, right? Meaning, before, when I was playing a game, I always kept in mind if it was trending, if I can create shorts with the games, right? So something like Expedition 33 is a perfect example. It was a trending game, became Game of the Year, which we didn't know back then, but everyone was playing it, and I knew if I would play it, I have a premise. The premise was, is the game as good as everyone said it was? And the answer to that was yes. It was still trending, so people had an interest in seeing the game, or seeing content of the game. And I knew if I would create shorts from that game, from our live stream, that it would generate almost guaranteed views, because it is a trending game. So I always kept these types of things in mind when I started playing games this year. But that type of mentality will be completely gone, because I will try something completely different with YouTube and completely separate the gaming portion from the YouTube channel. So what should drive discovery is our just chatting and our reaction part, and that technically, if it works, if it doesn't work, we have to think about something else. But if it does work, it leaves just the freedom to play whatever we want, because the game will not be used for content anymore. It's just as clear as that. So if that is all working, right, this is why I called this part of the category nice to haves. It can go the other way. If all of that happens, or parts of this happen, I'm gonna be very happy. I'm pretty sure I forgot a bunch of things in here as well. Networking, we got 20 CCV, mascot, Catboy June. These are all things that I would love to do better in 2026, right? It's like nice to have. These are all things that I already tried to some degree in 2025 or in 2024. So this is basically just a continuation of the things that I'm aiming for but never really got to execute. Because parts of this, for example, the professional planning and planning events before they happen, I tried that this year basically. I tried to promise myself that I would be doing this year and it did not work. So again, these are nice to haves. Oh, this is basically part of this, but well, growth in general, growing the community, getting more people in here. That is the main goal basically of the entire operation, is to get more people in here from all parts of the world, because I think the more diverse we are, the funnier it gets, because when we start talking about topics like very relatable topics that everyone had to go through, like school, I think it's always super interesting to see what someone experienced growing up or going to school in Malaysia, Romania, Serbia, Poland, USA, Canada, right? Because some things will be the same and other things will be completely different, and I think that opens our minds and horizons. So the more people we have from all parts of the world, the better. And this also allows me to stream more as well, because if I realize that our approach doesn't work, I probably have to dial down streams again and do a bit more like offline content, right? So yeah, the main goal pretty much is to grow the community so we can then stream more. Also, maybe to add the things, streams, right? 4 streams per week would be nice. Oh, some more things we need to do in 2026. Finally celebrate some of our milestones, right? 5-year anniversary, partner status on YouTube, new Vtuber. We never really had a debut party. Debut. I'm just gonna write debut. We should start. We can put all of these together into one. Maybe put all of these together into one big marathon, right? We never done a subathon as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be a subathon, but a 7-day streaming streaks type of situation. We never did that. We never really partied and celebrated ourselves, and that is mainly because the issue that I had, that I said around here, right, where I always the longer I failed basically, or the longer I kept doing this without immediate success. Not immediate success, because we did have some successful years and some that were not so successful. How should I say? Me feeling like that we are restarting almost every single year, right? This made me not aim for things anymore. I basically lost, this is what I said, I lost a bunch of my my confidence when it comes to streaming, right? Is because I basically created a negativity loop, and because I was super low on confidence when it comes to the content creation part, I never aimed for something like that. I didn't even aim for 5 CCV. And it felt a bit pointless for me to make goals like these, because I was like, oh man, I can barely stream, how am I supposed to do this and whatnot? I suck. So this cycle is ending today. Oh, hi Cloudy, hello. We were but we're 2 hours ago we're talking about you. Welcome and happy New Year. Or soon to be New Year. It's not New Year's yet. How are you doing? Hello. We're talking about exceptional community members, and you are obviously, since you are our main channel artists, or the ones who made the most fan art, and the only fan art to be totally truthful to you. So, wait, what? Spill the tea? Yeah, I was just saying how grateful I am. So keep the art coming in the following year. We are fully embracing the White Tiger community, or the White Tiger identity next year. So keep those things coming, but no pressure. Like you don't have to do something. Like I'm like incredibly grateful for all the animations and art you did this year. I feel so loved in this community. Do you? I hope you do. Man, this makes me happy, and this is also one of the reasons why I want this part to like do the best. Basically, these are nice halves, right? But this is the one that would make me the happiest, to be totally honest. Just so that we can have people who appreciate Cloudy's fan art more, right? I mean, they already do. I hope they do. But this would just make me very, very, very happy. So we can do like bigger, like smaller, like community events and shit like that. Yeah, but these are nice to haves. Once again, nice to haves. I probably forgot a couple of things as well. I might add them to the list. I will save this document so we can actually look at it next year, right? I will save it and put it in one of my lockers, or one of my 6 billion folders that I have on Twitch on my desktop. And if I cannot find it, which is going to be very likely that I cannot find this document anymore, this note next year, at least we have the stream, right? So I think this was a good idea to live stream this. So in case I accidentally delete this or I cannot find it next year, we have this stream. Cutely screams into my pillow in excitement because never have I ever been so recognized in a community. Really? I mean, that makes me a bit sad because I feel like artists are like at the heart of the VTuber community. And you've done VTuber art for like other people as well, right? There wouldn't be VTubing without artists, so you are essentially the heart of the VTuber community. And you're also the heart of our community. Until we get more fan artists in here, then you have a bit of like a competition. You have to share the heart. No, but the VTuber community in general, they live and die with the artist, right? That is not a secret. And every community lives off of people who create insider jokes and also art from events. And this is what makes a community. A community is basically a shared goal, a shared hub, a shared house, and also a shared leader. And I'm, in a sense, your leaders, right? Not in a like political sense, but I'm the head of the snake. But the snake cannot move without the other parts of its body, and you are the other parts of the body, right? So yeah, hopefully we can just strengthen the community, and I think that is something that I did not neglect it, but because we had less streams, we had less of a connection to each other, right? If you upload a video, the only connection that we have is basically you liking, giving the video thumbs up, and commenting. That's it, right? But with the live streams, we can actually talk. We can share things. We can share experiences. Like Crockley just shared his plans. My plan is to just start to play more shitty games that have no sense or are comically hard without any reason. Because it opens the door to good videos, and my first stream from my summer car was first stream in a long time that I can call successful and was very fun to do. That's the secret. That's the secret sauce, Crockley. For purpose, your main source of hydration is beer in there. That is cool. Crockley, that is exactly what you should do. That is a good mentality to have. To play games that not only make you happy, because if you're truly happy, that will attract more people. but also you cannot neglect the content creation side of it, because you always have to think about, can I do something out of that content, right? But as you said, you seem to have a grasp on what kind of like funny content you can make out of it, right? So that's like the perfect balance you should have. It's like something that you truly enjoy, that also attracts people because you're actually happy and not always thinking about the number part of it. And then something you can also use to actually create fun content that people then will watch. That's like the secret sauce to have. So yeah, keep doing that if it works for you. If something works, that's why they say never change a winning team, right? If you realize that something truly works for you, keep doing it. I'm like the leader artist of all the other ones coming in. That is true, but also not true at the same time. We did have like a lead artist in our community in the last 5 years. Her name was Echo, but Echo has been very, very busy. But Echo was the one creating my like very first community art ever, like 5 years ago. Also, I think one of the very first Jinyo art was created by Echo. Maybe I should still have it somewhere, but you are now the main Jinyo artist, because as I said, Echo has been, I haven't seen Echo since I think the beginning of the year. Everyone is busy with life. That is just very, very normal. I don't blame anyone who's missing out on streams and missing out on our journey, content journey. I'll try my best to still be here. If you come back, if you leave our community and you come back 5 years from now, this is all I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to still be here when you decide to come back. Loki might cry at the fact that you talked about me when I wasn't here. Oh, I talked about you in a sense that you might watch this later on. So don't worry about it. It's not like I was saying, oh man, I wish Cloudy was here. She's not here, so it makes no point talking about Cloudy right now. No, I basically said whether you watch it now or basically in the future, right? Because there's still, I'm well aware that we are in different time zones, and I'm well aware that people just either watch the VODs later on, right? So don't worry about it. Never feel bad for missing any streams. But one thing I wanted to show you is the very, very first Jinyo art that was created. Wait, can you see it? Ah, there we go. That one was from Echo. And Echo is also the person who created the very, very first art in general for me, like fan art. The very first fan art I've ever received in my content creation path, in my content creation, you cannot really call it a career, right? But Echo, I might still have it somewhere. Wait, I don't delete stuff like this. The problem is that I usually just put it into folders that I'll never find again. Yeah, wait. Yeah, I found the folder. Wait. I'm not exactly sure which one of these was the very first art piece that Echo made for us. I think it was this one. Actually, I think it was this one. This was, I think, when I was playing Minecraft. Back with like the panda mask. And then we also had like anniversary art for my birthday and whatnot. Look at this. Happy birthday. I don't know why it's... Why is it... Shouldn't be... Happy birthday. There we go. Yeah. You can be sure that I keep stuff like that because once again, I cannot even fathom how like it's something like if it's one of the most honorable thing I feel like you can do for a person is to spend your time onto the creating something for me, right? Or for, it's not like me, right? I'm not like, you're not drawing the person behind the VTuber, but you like Jinyo so much that you, or the idea of Jinyo or whatever, I don't really know how to express myself, but that you spend your very, very valuable time to draw something for me. And that is something I cannot express in words, because that is something that is very, very valuable to me, because I still honor human work and human blood and sweat. And the older I get, the more I appreciate the value of time. And like, I see time as like the most valuable currency you have as a person. So every one of us is kind of rich if you think about it, some richer than others. The younger you are, the richer you are when it comes to the time currency. So if you spend this valuable currency onto creating something unique for me, you don't know how much I value this. And that is why I also save all of this stuff, because there might be a time, we never know, right? There might be a time where I just not be doing this anymore. Just like there was a time when I was pursuing a music career, or like a career in surgery, because I wanted to study medicine. And that is part of your life and who you are, and it will create your personality, right? So that is something you can look back on. So there might be a time, hopefully there isn't, because I really enjoy this, but there might be a time in the future where I won't be doing this. So I will have a folder that I can look back on with the time that we spent here. Fortunately, I don't really have a lot of footage from that time either, from like 5 years ago, 4 years ago. But what I will have, what will always remain, is the fan art, because A, it's easy to store. A JPEG is very, very easy to store. A 6-hour VOD from 5 years ago, not so much. And the memories, obviously, because that is something you are storing in your brain and not on a folder. Oh, Crowley went and I did not see it. That's because I was looking through folders. Okay, bye Crowley. I don't know if you're still here, but if you watch this later on, bye. I'm sorry, I couldn't see you leaving because I was just looking through some folders. All right. Oh, he said I have to get ready for a party. Okay. To make my friends pass out from drinking. Don't do that. Don't blackout drink. Please be safe. Like, party to your heart's content. Drink to your heart's content, but don't drink too much. Please be careful. Okay. And also stay away from driving. Stay away from driving when you're drinking. Okay. I would say we finish off this part. Dreams. This would be cool if things. Would be. What is this sentence? Dreams. This should be. Okay. This would be cool. Type of things, but not necessarily. Was I drunk typing this? Nice. Wait. Let me just say. Cherry on top. Not necessary at all. Good. What would be a nice thing to have at the... I remember my first fan art of you. I did talk about the very first one that you created. Earlier in the stream. Let me see my list. What I wrote down as dreams. Where's my list? Merch. You know what? I mean, like, merch. I feel like should be a nice to have. Merch. Because we used to have merch when I still had all the other, like, VTuber and whatnot, right? But I feel like merch, that is something that should be definitely an option, right? For 2026. I'd buy Jinyo merch. If you make merch, I'm buying it. Thank you. What type of merch would you like to see? Because I'm someone who, like, when I still did merch a couple of years ago, I'm trying to create unique designs for certain type of items. Like obviously when you're starting out, you usually only have one design that you place on, because it's print on demand company, so you put it on desk mats, you put it on t-shirts, you put it on hoodies, you put it on everything pretty much. But I'm thinking if we do merch, we are basically launching one product per design. Shirts, I'd go for a hoodie because I do well with I don't do well with cold weather, okay? I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, would you mind if one design is on everything, or would you? Because that is how I used to do it. I had like one design, and these print-on-demand companies, they basically let you put their design, your design on everything, right? You can do like a mouse pad, you can do a cup, you can do a t-shirt, you can do a hoodie, and it's all gonna be the same design. But I thought maybe this year we're gonna soft launch it, but we make it product. We make a product dedicated design. So, for example, if I want to sell a cup, right? The design should be drinking related. So it wouldn't make that much sense to put the same design on a hoodie. Hoodie. Wee. I wouldn't mind. I'd buy the shirt anyways. Whatever comes first, it gets added to the cart. Okay. I know how to make plushies, so I was gonna make fan merch of plushie Jinyo. Yo. I've seen a lot of VTubers who like they're working with a store. I forgot the name of the store. Is it something with M? I'm not exactly sure, but there's like a dedicated store for like VTubers and anime related merch. And YouTube's, no, not YouTube's. There's like one Makeshift. Yes, thank you. Yeah, it was Makeshift. And sometimes they have like, if you want to create like a plushie, they tell you, hey, if your community pre-orders 200 plushies, then we actually produce it. So they're not pre-producing anything, but they're basically, you can create like your own plushie design, and they're saying, hey, if you actually manage to pre-sell 200 of these or 100 of these, then we actually produce it for you. So I think like a plushie, a Jinyu plushie, we're still far off from that, because like 200 sales, pre-sales, unless you two buy 200 each or 100 each, that's that's gotta be rough. But yeah, merch is also something I never really want to do, because once again, lack of confidence, and I also don't want to seem like it's, I feel like maybe I was wrong with this mentality, but I felt like if we had like 200 viewers, right? When I offer merch, it comes off different than if I have 2 viewers and I offer merch. Right? It's almost like milking a cow dry, or whatever it was called. That is like the mentality I used to have. That is why I did not want to reintroduce merch at first. But this is like, again, this is like a confidence thing, and me not really, you know, I still feel weird when people are spending a lot of like money and time on my channel. This is something that it's probably because I started streaming very late, right? It doesn't feel right. Like when sometimes Lexi, for example, Lexi is our biggest gifter on Twitch, and when she comes in and just like spends the 20, 30, 40 bucks on gifting subs, obviously I'm grateful because it allows more people to have subs. But it's like, in my brain, it's like, okay, this person now spent like 50 bucks on your channel. Like, it still feels weird to me accepting these types of gifts. So yeah, I was very conflicted with merch for a long time, because I already had a merch line basically, but they had like, I used to work with the Stream Elements merch store, which had great like cuts, because for example a t-shirt, like a cup was, I'm not exactly sure about the prices, but they were not as predatory anymore. There's some print on demand stores where they basically take like 50% because they're printing everything, right? And they're also shipping everything. So you don't really have to deal with anything other than providing like the designs and basically make the store available. So Stream Elements cuts were very good, but Lexi, for example, she ordered like 1 hoodie, or was it 2 hoodies, and the quality was very, very bad, especially after not so much the quality of the clothes, right? The clothes had high quality. It was the print quality. So after one round in the washing machine, it usually like lost its colors and its glow. Like I used to have a design with like a deep red color in the background, and that color basically became almost pink after washing it twice or 3 times. So yeah, if I'm gonna say like we're definitely gonna try and reintroduce merch in 2026, but it's gotta be with the right company, and the print designs have to be high quality. Like the print quality has to be high, because usually the clothes that they're offering, it's good quality. Like I still have those 2 those t-shirts, for example, that I'm still wearing sometimes from our old brand, and the hoodies were nice and warm. It's just that the print quality was bad. It also started like the t-shirts, for example, after a couple of times in a washing machine, they started having these, it's like Risse. What is Risse again in English? Cracks in the design. Very bad. Like print quality, as I said, terrible. The clothes were awesome. So when we reintroduce merch, I'm gonna take my time and see which company is actually producing good print quality as well before we launch it. I would gladly buy more merch and make more fan art as I do without posting things. I appreciate that, Cloudy. Hopefully, man, this would be like one of the dreams to come true, would be to be here long enough. Let me just put it here: longevity. Do you write it that way? Longevity. Yeah. Longevity. Definitely to see, for example, Cloudy's fan art in 5 years from now, or 6 years, right? This would be a dream come true. To actually, because right now I've been doing this for 5 years, and unfortunately some of our like old school members that were here 5 years ago, they left. But I have some members who basically grew up watching me, and this is such a cool feeling and such a cool thought, because there's some people who started watching me when they were going to college, like now they're at like university, right? They're getting their degrees. I have some viewer who moved from Nepal to the States in a span of 5 years, and sometimes like occasionally they still stop by the streams and tell us about their life. And longevity is something that is very cool, because I get to see or hear about people growing up with my content. It's something that is very weird to describe. Like it's hard to describe how that feels like. And I would love to be around for a couple more years with the channel and content creation, just so I can maybe hear people graduating, or someone like Cloudy maybe getting their, I don't know, art scholarship or stuff like that. I think I started watching you in grade 6, I don't know, or 7. Yeah, when I started content creation, my nephew was still in elementary school, or just started elementary school. Now he's in 6th grade, so it's cool. It is cool, definitely. And when I sometimes get so how should I say it, overwhelmed by the negativity, it's because you usually, like, if I would relive the entire 5 years, I just sometimes wish I could go back in time, you know, and with the experience I have now, because I think I could have been a bit more successful or a bit more streamlined with the things that I did if I could just have the experience now that I have now, going back. When you look back, it's quite a journey. It is. I'm about to go to high school now. I'm terrified. Well, like in a few months. You don't have to be terrified of high school, Cloudy. It is so silly. I mean, me telling you that you don't have to be terrified is not going to change anything, because I'm well aware of how teenagers work and how life works. And just because someone is telling you don't have to worry doesn't mean that you like automatically stop worrying. But everyone has these like first day shivers. It never goes away. You'll have that once you like enter university. You'll have that once you enter your first job. Every firsts, pretty much. You go to your like first date. It doesn't matter how many first dates you had before. Everyone has first date shivers. Like it never, like something like that never goes away. First time behind the wheels, even if you had a bit of training beforehand with your parents. It's just because some people, like, our brain is very powerful. Our brain is very, very, very powerful. And all of these negative thoughts and anxiety attacks and shit like that, that is all coming from that little thing in your skull. I mean, it's not very little either. So all of these gurus that you see online that have these advices of you having like positive mantras, that is actually like something that could work. That is real. It will not heal depression, something that is rooted deeper inside of you. But if you're just having like anxiety because of upcoming exams or something like that, having positive mantras repeated in your brain, or having something positive on your walls, just a poster on your wall saying you're beautiful. Believe me, it is not just a myth that these online personalities tell you. It is actually something that works psychologically. Positive encouragement and positive something, there's a word for it, positive thingy, is actually, it can actually manifest in a way that you just create dopamine and endorphins. The opposite is happening if you're always beating yourself up and beating yourself down. This is also where lack of confidence comes from. Exactly the things that I've been experiencing in the last 3 months. Because I can guarantee you, the Jinyo that started content creation 5 years ago, the one who was way less experienced, but had the belief in himself that this is a cool thing that he could do, right? That he felt comfortable in. He was 10 times more confident than I am right now. So if I could go back to that time and have the experience that I have instilled in the Jinyo, that's still, I mean, I believe in myself as well, but back then the belief was, as I told you, ignorance is bliss. Back then, I remember when I started streaming, my goal for that year, for my first year into streaming, was partner. You know, this is how confident I was, or delusional. This is the levels of like differences of confidence that I had. I just started streaming. I was wearing this huge ass panda mask, right? I had this like new brand that I created, which I thought was super duper smart. And I was aiming for partner. I was like, I'm gonna aim for partner. I'm gonna be a partner by the end of the year. And then with each passing year, I had to dial down my goals. And I think I dialed it down to a point where it destroyed my confidence, right? Because there's a difference from going to, okay, maybe I'm not able to reach like 100 concurrent viewers per stream within a year, but I can definitely aim for 50, right? That is still you being confident. But eventually it turned from, okay, maybe I cannot reach 100, but I might reach 50. And then I was like, okay, maybe not 50, but I can definitely reach for 25. And then I was like, maybe not 25, let's just try to reach 10. And then I was like, I don't even believe that I can reach 10 anymore. And I think because I had that type of mentality, which was caused by experience, negative experience, I think I never aimed for something anymore. And that is also something that ultimately hurt my confidence. And this is something I want to change in 2026. This is what I also said. I'm aiming for 20 concurrent viewers again. I don't give a fuck. The last 5 years don't count anymore. We're starting fresh tomorrow, and I'm gonna like be back with 100%, or maybe not 100% confidence, but definitely back to 75%. No more thinking that I cannot achieve something just because it did not happen in the past. Like we have to let go of those past failures. They don't matter anymore. We have now a fresh community with some old community members, the veterans, and newer ones like Cloudy, like Ikathian. Although Cloudy at this point is almost like an OG as well. It's been a year. Bit more than a year actually. But now we're like a well-rounded team, I would say. We still have people like Lexi and Siphon and Double Chocochip. Those are members who've been with me for more than 4 years, right? So we have the old guard, and I don't mean old as in age, but old as in OG members. We have the newer ones, and we have the ones in between, right? This is a good foundation, and we're gonna work with that. Everything else will leave in 2025. Don't worry, I was also Delulu. Kitsune anime! Holy shit! Hey, I can stick around because I get some work done. Just wanted to let you know that I believe in you. I think if you keep at it, you'll do amazing things. Oh my god, you don't know how much that means to me, Kitsune. See, this is one thing. First of all, Happy New Year to you. And you make amazing videos, right? And I'm not saying this to clout chase or whatever it is called. I'm saying this because, man, when I'm doing reaction, I'm well aware that I'm not doing the most original type of content, right? Reaction is basically the lowest type of content you can do. Lowest in quotation marks, right? Because I think I do add a bunch of commentary. But this is why I said I'm always too much in my brain, in my head, and I'm thinking about things that don't even happen or never even are gonna happen, right? Because in my mind, when I'm reacting to creators like Kitsune Anime, I'm stealing the content, kind of, right? Like I'm doing the lowest type of content. I beat myself up for it. It creates a negative spiral, negative cycle. And then someone like Kitsune Anime comes in here and it's like, hey, I believe in you. You don't know how much that flips a switch in my brain. This always like being too negative. It's definitely a burden, but that is something I just have to work with. My ADHD, I got like diagnosed very, very late. I recently saw that you are working on a best of 2025 anime. Have you finished that already? I haven't checked it out in a while, your channel. This is also perfect because in 2026, I definitely want to streamline my reactions and my content in general and go more in the direction of just anime and not doing like a chop suey of content, because that is something the algorithm doesn't like. But I don't have to tell you that. I uploaded it a few days ago. Okay, that is something I'm gonna add to my list for 2026. I already have a content plan for the upcoming days. I'm gonna continue watching Milky Subway. Have you done a video on Milky Subway? If you haven't done a video on Milky Subway, please watch Milky Subway. It is an animation studio, Japanese indie animation studio. The episodes can all be watched on YouTube. It's like 12 episodes. It's high quality, but just 3 minutes long. Wait, I gotta show you the channel. I'll be sure to check it out. You can basically binge watch everything in 20 minutes. It's 12 episodes. The original Japanese dub is amazing, but they also have dedicated voice actors for each language that they provide. So they didn't just do it with random ass like AI voice acting. It is so good. Wait, I need to send you the link. Milky Subway. It is something I saw from a like Gigak video. Gigak recommended this because Gigak said that this that is basically the only anime he's seen that has very realistic dialogues. He said that in normal animes, dialogue is more like a turn-based game where one person says something and then the other person says something. But in Milky Subway, they actually voice act like real humans. And as I said, like the episodes are 3.5 minutes long. And I fell in love with the show. Like the first episode, when I watched it, the characters are amazing. The quality is amazing. It's an indie studio. This is the beauty, I would say, of YouTube. That there's just like an indie dude. This was a one-man, this was a one-man project. He basically had like the pilot episode was like a university project. And then he turned it into an entire brand. And I think this is now coming to theaters now as well. Like this dude, like, chapeau. It sounds beautiful. I'll absolutely sure to check this out. Okay, I didn't want to bombard you with this. I'm just saying that since you are doing like videos on these types of situations, I think it's coming to theaters now. Like this thing blew up, but you will see why. Like just start and get into that rabbit hole. No, you're fine. I love about hearing new things. Okay. Yeah, I also get my information from people like you and from people like Gigak as well. Gigak, I have like 3 or 4 major essayists that I love to watch because they just open the eyes to so many new and cool things. And there's one video that I got this from, one Gigak video where he talked about indie animations that are less than 3 minutes long. And Milky Subway was one of them. Yeah, I watch Bonsai Pop and Mother's Basement and Kitsune Anime and Gigak. If you have some more creators to recommend, then please let me know. Wait, there's also one message I forgot from Icathian. I just want to put this here before we go offline and I forget. To the content creators and artists here, thank you. Thank you for providing a place to hang out after work and escape from reality. Hope it doesn't sound too cheesy. No, it doesn't. And Cloudy, please never give up on your art no matter what. Dude, Icathian, that is beautiful. Thank you so much for saying this, Icathian. And this is also why I say that our growth might take a bit longer, right? But it is because we're mining for diamonds. It's because we're mining for people like Icathian, who think alike, who also have like matured when it comes to the way they think about art and they think about human art, especially around the time where AI is taking over a lot of things. So appreciate that. Appreciate everyone who's been a part of this journey. And tomorrow, we start a new chapter. Last 5 years, with all the failures, all the wins are gone now. And tomorrow we'll start fresh. I need to be better watching other creators. I barely have to. Oh, dude, you don't... you don't have to apologize for that. I'm the exact same. I always say that like my most favorite VTuber that I watch are like Kiara and Bao. And when the YouTube recap and the Twitch recap showed up, I had like I think 6 hours in each of those streams, and those are supposed to be my most watched creators. I barely have time to be doing this. I mean, do you do this full time, right? So if in your case it's even gonna take more time of your life, right? But with the free time that I have, I can only do my stuff. I can only watch my stuff. I mean, I get to see other people's content because I'm reacting to their content. But I totally understand that you can only deal with your stuff because you are also doing like industry type of videos, right? You watch a lot of anime, you talk about anime, and you talk about the anime industry. So where should you find the time to also watch other people? I totally understand that. Plus you have to edit your stuff as well. You have to find the source, you have to research the source, you have to record, you have to edit it. and then you have to upload it and also have to do the PR for yourself, right? You have to post it on other people on other platforms, and then you also have to do short form content now, because that's also part of the game. It is a full-time job, even if it's not a full-time job. Corona will always be my number one for me, though. There's so many beautiful VTubers out there. It's so funny that the VTuber genre, I talked about it at the beginning of the stream, it's like it's completely hidden from you until like the second you engage with VTuber content, all of a sudden it will flood your timeline. But before that, because like 5 years ago, I had no idea what VTubers were. Like literally, I'm one of those, in quotation mark, tourists, the ones who are not liked by the purist VTuber fans, the ones who came into the scene when VTubing was already huge and big. But that is because I never saw it, literally. It never ended on my timeline on YouTube, was never recommended to me, on Twitch or Twitter. It was just completely hidden from me, like a secret a secret community. The second I engaged with, I think it was like, might have been a Fillion or Bao or another person's content, or Shy Lily, all of a sudden it was everywhere. I think I was like 5 years ago too, maybe. Then a few years later I became a VTuber, and now I'm doing this. This is awesome. Oh man, yeah, everyone, most people I know started 5 years ago. I think COVID was just the pandemic, the quarantine was just the perfect opportunity. Everyone was at home, everyone was thinking about doing the things that they were pushing away for so many years, that they always wanted to do but never had the time to do it. All of a sudden, you are at home, remote job, remote university. It's like, let's just go for it. Who cares? Maybe I'll show you my model sometimes, but if I do, you gotta promise not to tell anyone. Oh, I will promise, 100%. 100%. Are you, like, is it a model that you have not released yet, so you're planning a debut? Like, I swear, like, I respect these types of secrets a lot. If you're gonna show me on Discord or whatever, I'm not gonna show anyone, because I never really had a debut myself. So I respect it a lot. Like, when people are keeping things in secret and like preparing all of their debut stuff and then release it at once, why should I ruin it for your community as well? Like, I hate these types of leaks. My most favorite VTubers are you and Daishima, because I watch you two most, and you're definitely my comfort YouTuber. Oh, thank you. That makes me very happy. Because you lighten my mood when I'm upset, and I really appreciate that about you, and I'm super happy that I got to actually bond, and I want to say thank you. Oh man, what happened? What happened today? This makes me emotional. Thank you so much, Cloudy. I'm just very happy that I can make people happy. And I now kind of regret that I was always like complaining so much about the channel stuff and whatnot when I had people like Cloudy in here and Ikathian and now Kitsune as well, right? And it's not like, as I said many times, I did not want to make you feel like you are not enough, right? I was always just being unhappy about myself, pretty much. I'm very critical with myself, and the moment something doesn't go my way, I just usually get into these like negative spirals. But that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate people spending their time with me, or you know, like it's not like I sometimes I think I give the impression that, oh, you are not enough, or like one viewer is not enough, or two viewers are not enough. I'm not saying that. Like, if it came out that way, I hope you understand that I never meant it. It's more like the frustration sometimes that I have is like just putting a lot of work into an upload and it just getting 0 views, and it's just like a gut punch. But it's part of being a YouTuber as well, and part of being a content creator as well. I'm pretty sure Kitsune can also like like share a million stories like that where Kitsune put a lot of work into an upload and it did not get as much as an upload where he like spent half of the time on. Someone said that you're not really a YouTuber unless you put a lot of effort into an upload and it completely bombing, and you also at the same time putting zero effort into an upload and that gaining like 10 times the views. Thank you so much for being the awesome dude you are. You're definitely one of my Oshi. Thank you. Thank you, Cloudy. And once again, that goes for Cloudy, for Ikathian, for everyone who is watching now and who's watching in the future, the VOD. Just thank you for being a part of the journey. And if I make it sound sometimes like you are not enough, this is not what I'm frustrated about. I'm usually more frustrated about the systems that I'm in, right? Just being someone from Germany doing English content only, it's like an uphill battle. Because a lot of these short form content platforms like YouTube Shorts and TikToks, they're geo-targeted. And they don't like it when you as a German create English content because they try to push it to Germans. You can escape that obviously, but it's just harder and more difficult. And sometimes I just hate the fact that the algorithms, so to speak, those smart algorithms, they don't just understand that I'm not interested in serving German content. Don't worry about complaining. It's difficult sometimes and you don't always get the results you want. It's okay to vent out. Thank you. Dude, I did a whole video on Nintendo Studios and it barely even got above 1K. Yeah, that is... I feel like this is because you're mostly constructive and you are mostly positive, Kitsune. If you would have made a video completely shitting on Nintendo and having a thumbnail saying Nintendo's over, it's over with Nintendo, I think that video would have received a bunch of views. Unfortunately, this is probably one of the worst things that, I mean, it was a trend before 2025, but I feel like it peaked in 2025, is the negativity, both on Twitter, but also on YouTube. Look how many just negative slop channels have gained massive views, and it's all pretty much the same content. You can vent about it because I get it, and I'm sure a lot of others do too. It's definitely an uphill battle, yeah. Funny thing is that at certain points I totally did shit on them. Then you must have, you should have put it in the title or the thumbnail, because people absolutely love that. I think Nintendo deserves a lot of scrutiny for certain things, like the fan-made mods, for example. They usually are very, very fast. That's why they call the Nintendo lawyers the ninjas, because they're so fast to striking people down. And they're not only, this is one thing that I would say is different from Sony and from Xbox. When Sony is striking down a fan, or like a fan mod or something like that, they just usually get rid of the fan mod and that is it, right? Same with Xbox. When they don't like you doing something for their brand or with their brand, they usually tell you, hey, cease and desist, basically, take it down, that's it. Nintendo, when they do find you doing like something with their IP that they don't like, not only will they force you with their ninjas to take it down, but they also will try and gain something out of it, like they will try and financially harm you. Doesn't matter if you're a 13-year-old boy trying to do a Pokemon mod, they'll send you like some mean letters. So that's why I always say, if you're a modder, passionate modder, don't touch Nintendo IPs. Like, seriously, do anything else. I should have made a title like Nintendo in their flop era, yeah. But I'm too much of a Nintendo adult, so I get it. Not to mention they're trying to patent entire game genre. Oh yeah, that was stupid too. I mean, it's their own fault. I told them, it's not like I told them personally, but I grew up with Nintendo too. I love the Nintendo IPs. I don't understand why they don't port certain things to the PC. There's like an entire market for them to dominate. Something like Mario Kart, right? That could totally be on PC. Maybe not Pokemon, maybe not the big system sellers, right? I mean, Mario Kart is a system seller too. I know they still want to make hardware sales and whatnot, but I really don't think it will hurt them that much if they maybe follow the same type of strategy that Sony does. Sony has the exclusive games for PlayStation, right? But after a year or two, they will release it on PC. I think Nintendo could totally go the same route. And because they refuse to embrace PC at all, obviously with indie studios getting better, like these engines getting better and better, and it's gonna get easier and easier to create games, at some point someone will create an actual good Pokemon-like game on the PC. And I think Pokemon, in this case, Game Freak and Nintendo, they just got salty. Like, seriously. They looked at Palworld. Yes, Palworld had some very questionable designs, but in itself, it is a new type of... Not a new type of game, but it's not a complete copy, right? So suing them for using a game mechanic that other games also used before Pokemon, right? And also monster designs. I've seen a picture of people comparing some Pokemon early designs from Pokemon Red and Blue, like the first 151s, to some Dragon Quest designs, and there are also some similarities. So it's their own fault. I never owned a Nintendo. Cloudy, I don't think I've ever met an artist who doesn't own or played Nintendo games before. I feel like almost every artist is a Nintendo fan. So maybe you should start. It's never too late to start with Nintendo. So funny how like the creative part of Nintendo is genuinely peak and amazing, and the business side is most cold. Yeah, that is so true. It's like it's like hot and cold. Yeah, two opposites of each other. One thing that is absolutely crazy that like recently leaked, right? Were the budgets for the Pokemon games. I mean, we all felt like the budgets were low, right? Like we all made jokes about it, that they probably only spent like 10 million or whatever, right? Those were all jokes, but I never thought that the jokes would be this close to the truth. Yesterday I read that for the Pokemon Z and A games, like the Legend Arceus sequel, they spent 13 million. 13 million! There are indie games that spend more money than that. Like, holy shit, biggest media franchise in the world. And they spent 13 million. That is crazy. I wish Pokemon and Game Freak would give themselves a bit more time and especially more money to actually develop the games that we deserve as Pokemon fans. Like, it's been 30 years, come on, man. They're gonna have their 30-year anniversary next year. Like, come on. You don't have to have the best graphics. I'm not a graphic philiac or whatever it's called, right? Pokemon can still look like it used to in the Nintendo 3DS era, Nintendo DS era. But use your budget. Like, god damn it. Like, please. Make billions of dollars. Put some of it into your games. Just a tiny amount. I think my major gripe with Pokemon likes is that they never try to be their own thing. It always feels like they're trying to invoke, this is supposed to be like Pokemon. Oh, yeah, I get it. I get what you mean. It's probably like in some cases it's also like their selling point. I remember I backed a Kickstarter game called Temtem, which also basically, I don't know if that was like their official marketing line or if it was just the community saying it, but they like I've read a lot about this is Pokemon but for PC, or this is Pokemon but for Steam, and it was very, very Pokemon-like. I still enjoyed my time with Temtem. Temtem, I think, is a great game. But it is definitely, it's pretty much Pokemon on Steam. I would prefer if they were like Digimon and Monster Rancher and tried to make their designs and feel more their own thing. Yeah, I love Digimon as well. I want to play the newest Digimon game, the story game. But Digimon at some point also tried to go the Pokemon route. I guess they probably look at Pokemon. I mean, if you want to create a game, you usually look at the best thing in your category, right? In your industry. And Pokemon is just the number one when it comes to Pokemon catchers. And there was a time with Digimon Story. I remember one of my favorite PlayStation 1 games was Digimon Story 3, or Digimon in Germany was called Digimon 2003 for some reason. And it basically had the Pokemon formula. So you had like gym leaders that you had to beat. There were some obstacles along the way where you had to find a legendary like Digimon and get the egg in order to get to other areas. Basically like trying to find the technical machines like Surf and whatnot. So it was very Pokemon-esque, and I have to say, it was one of my favorite Digimon games of all time because it was so Pokemon-esque. Those Digimon story games kick so much ass. I haven't played the most recent one. The one who is supposed to be the most successful. Those new Digimon games are like if you combine Persona with Pokemon. But is that a bad thing? I enjoyed Persona as well. Also, Pokemon, if we're talking about it, Pokemon is starting to copy a bunch of Digimon stuff as well. Like, I'm one of those, like, Mega Evolution haters, because I thought the one thing that made Pokemon so unique was the evolutions, right? They evolve into better beings of themselves, right? So doing Mega Evolutions and then kind of going back, I did not like that, and I still don't like it. Because I felt like returning back to one of your forms is a Digimon type of thing, right? Because Digimon are digital things. They're not actual beings, like living beings. That is Pokemon. Digimon is digital monsters, so you can modify them, you can turn them into viruses, you can turn them into other types of things, right? It makes a lot of sense why you could revert a piece of data back to where it started from, right? But with Pokemon, I never liked it. I liked it more that when they started doing region-specific versions of certain Pokemon. That makes a lot more sense because it's almost like in real life, right? If you believe in evolution, that is, where certain type of birds developed in a different way. It's the same bird family, but they look completely different, and they developed in a different way, evolved in a different way, depending on where their environment was, right? What they had to adapt to. And I thought that type of thing, when they introduced the Alola version of the Pokemon, I thought that was like, this was the path to go. Okay, maybe like the Charizard in this region is a dragon type because the circumstances are a bit harsher. But this Charizard is it's a water type because the Charmander lived in the ocean or next to the ocean. My primary issue with the newer games is that it feels like they have to have some kind of new huge gimmick to sell the game on, and just don't feel like it's necessary. Oh yeah, the edition specific gimmicks, Gigamaxing, Megas, yeah, that move, terrestrialization, yeah, and then that completely disappears in the following editions. I'm with you. I mean, they can keep Megas, but I feel like Megas should be the only thing, not Gigantamaxing and Zap moves, and that is just, I don't know. The selling point for new games were the new Pokemon. That is true. That is true. For me, it was both the new Pokemon and the new regions, but the gameplay was pretty much always the same. What is your favorite Pokemon edition? I think for me it might be Emerald. I grew up with all of them. Like, I'm a kid of the 90s, so I played Red and Blue, obviously, and then I also got the Yellow edition. Yellow edition. They might remake the Yellow edition. They hinted at something. Next year is gonna be 30-year anniversary of Pokemon, and I saw on like the Central Leaks or whatever it was called. What is that page called? Central Leaks. Yeah, Central Leaks. They released an animation. Look. Wait. Where is it? Oh, wait, I'm in the wrong window. Yeah, there we go. Yo. Interesting. $1996. Holy shit, I'm old. I'm gonna go, but Happy New Year, Jinyo. Happy New Year to you as well. I shall go back to making videos, but have fun. Have fun making videos, and I'm gonna drop the dad joke. See you next year. That one will never get old. See you next year. And have a nice time enjoying a New Year's Eve party with your family, or just drawing or creating videos. I would love it if it had that style, the old Ken Sugimura art style. Yeah, that would be awesome. Or okay, Ang, and you too, thank you. Yeah, I have to wrap it up soon as well. We have to go. In 2 hours, we're gonna go down to the harbor. I live in a small coastal town, and the harbor is usually having like a nice, cool fireworks. So I gotta wrap it up as well soon. Yeah, either do it in this style, or I feel like it would be nice if we could also have like one of the older gen games with the Pokemon Z and A types of like environment and graphics and whatnot. That would be really cool. I would love that. I would kill for a game like Z and A where we could just maybe go like with the Pokemon Red editions. Just do that. Nintendo can spend the next 10 years, I swear, Game Freak can spend the next 10 years just remastering the older gens like Gen 1 to Gen 4, Gen 5 with the new type of graphics that they have and like 3D environments. I would be happy. That sounds so nice, living in a nice little harbor town. That sounds so beautiful. It is. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is very beautiful. I live in a town, like in a small town in Germany, in the north of Germany. People come here because the air is so clean. They basically, when they're suffering from like respiratory issues and whatnot, they basically get to do like a spa week or a month in my town. So my town is basically known for clean air. And yeah, for the longest time, as I said, it's the perspective and also age. For the longest time, I was disliking living in a small town, but once you step foot and live a bit longer in a bigger town, you're like, holy shit, I'll never want to step foot in here again. I'm definitely a small town man, boy. Do you live in a Ghibli movie? I kind of am. Like, my town is very beautiful. It used to have more like old elements, like 100+ year old buildings and whatnot, but they're slowly trying to, I shouldn't say gentrify it, but they definitely, like, they're removing a lot of old stuff and just building new buildings and new apartments that nobody can afford, like literally nobody. They have an apartment complex at the harbor, which looks like a sail ship. It looks so cool. So if you live on the top apartments, you basically can look over the ocean, and it looks really cool. Like, it is a modern building, right? And usually modern buildings don't look that great, but the architect, they outdone himself. It looks like a ship basically in building form. But if you want to live on the upper part, like apartments, that's like 10 to 15k per month. But they have a balcony, so you can literally have balcony while looking over the ocean. You can have breakfast while looking over the ocean. I hate everything. That does sound nice. I mean, we still have old parts, don't worry. Like, we still have, like, charming old parts, because we in Germany, we have, like, a law that is, like, Gedenkschutz, it's called. And it's basically supposed to protect old buildings that have historical significance. And one of those buildings, for example, is like an old cafe where they still, like, serve coffee and cakes and whatnot. And that building has Denkmalschutz, so it's protected, literally protected. They cannot get rid of it and build something new on top of it. They cannot, like, by law, they cannot get rid of that building, because it has significant, like, meaning to the city's history. I love nautical themed stuff, so literally I tell my friends this all the time. My dream house would have the entire interior to be sailor themed. Nice. Like Donald Duck. You want to live like Donald Duck? Doesn't Donald Duck have like a sailor themed house? That is awesome. I mean, the ocean is very calming. Everyone loves to fall asleep to rain, right? I think it's also healthy in general living next to like water and whatnot. And water cities have always been significant, like historically significant in the past. That's why they always fought for these types of cities, right? Everyone wants to have the entrance to the ocean. Air is cleaner, life is less hectic here, right? There's like 25k people living here in my town. So it's not small, right? But it's also not a big city. As I said, I do not like the big cities. Like Hamburg in Germany, for example. Hamburg, I have lots of family and friends living in Hamburg. I absolutely hate the city. And not the city itself, I hate that it's just packed with people. The streets are full, so you always end up in some kind of traffic jam. The city is full, every store is packed. You don't have that in my little town. At 9 p.m., it's almost a ghost town. The amount of people you find at 9 p.m. in the city, for example, you can count them on both hands. It's so quiet. I want to be Donald Duck. Just have to be careful about eating too much fish because of mercury. True. Also, fish, one of those other like positive things about living in this town, you can get fresh fish from fishers, like at the harbor. There are people selling fish that they freshly caught to you in this town. So no thinking about, oh, what might they have done to the fish, right? At the grocery store. Although the grocery store fish is also pretty much fresh, it's just frozen most of the time. But it doesn't get more fresh than actually getting it from the boat. The fish they freshly caught, yeah. And there are two boats that also are kind of restaurants. It's not like high-end restaurants, right? But it's like they are selling what they caught, and they serving what they caught, basically. It's like Kitchen Nightmare. It's fresh frozen, yeah. Oh, I love Kitchen Nightmares so much. It always turns out to be fresh frozen or microwaved. Excuse me, darling. Is this fresh? We microwaved it. It sounds so incredible to me. It is unfortunately something that now that I'm explaining the city and describing the city, you might think that I'm like at the harbor and doing like a walk at the beach almost every day. Unfortunately, when you're living here, you take a lot of things for granted, right? And then things like this become very normal, so you might not appreciate it as much as you should. But there are always like moments in life, for example, when I'm describing it to you now, where I realize how fortunate I am, but there's some like 300 days of the year you don't really think about that you basically have the jackpot and you live in an awesome town with clean air, with not that many people, with good infrastructure, and also history, lots of history. I get that. I almost never go outside. You should, even as a YouTuber. I know how hard your job is, Like seriously, I work from home. I have a remote job. So I understand, but sometimes you really have to force yourself, even if you have to sacrifice sleep. I can only imagine how your sleep schedule is like. Because mine is horrible as well. Like sometimes we gotta push ourselves to do something that is actually good for us. Because the moment we are not allowed to do it anymore, we cannot do it anymore, we will regret it so hard. I always think about it when I do these like New Year's resolution, or when I'm not like enjoying life as much as I should, and then I see a video of someone with, for example, it might sound like bad, but I hope you know what I mean, like someone with no legs, for example, and I'm like, oh my god, he probably would kill for being like able to go for a sprint, go for a run. Like, what am I doing? I should be running. Like, I should be using my legs, right? You know what I mean? It's unfortunately, we humans, we only like understand once it's too late. We should be like, if you're somewhat healthy, you should make use of your body. Like somewhat healthy and somewhat young. We should force ourselves to be healthier, or at least try, right? Because everyone can have goals, and at the end of the day, executing the goals is another thing. But one of the things I definitely want to do in 2026 is taking care a bit of myself, like a little bit better, mostly the mental health, not so much physical, because in this year I did go back to actually lifting weights. So physically I got a bit better into shape, definitely far away from what I should be weighing and looking like, but at least I got back to it. But in 2026 I also want to take care of myself mentally, because I think it, especially in this year, which also had a bunch of like personal stuff happening, I just let myself go so fast. It's so easy to just be a hater of yourself instead of loving yourself, right? It's like same with the content. The second one video doesn't get, it used to be where I just look at the content on a monthly basis and be like, okay, I'm gonna try and like do something better in the next month. And in the last few weeks, it was more so that I looked at the uploads on a like day-to-day basis. I upload something, the next day I look at it, 10 views, I suck. I hate myself. I should not be uploading shit like that. Like this type of very strong type of language and thoughts, and at some point I was like, yo, you gotta chill out, man. This is also why I started streaming again the last 2 weeks, because I wanted to do less streaming and more uploads in order to have a bit of discovery, because on Twitch you literally have no discovery. Like if you have 2 viewers, you're pretty much on the bottom in every category. So I was... But I decided in the last 2 weeks to just do something that is nice for my mental, right? Not so much chasing the numbers anymore. I just decided, hey, I'm just not gonna upload for a week and just enjoy my time streaming. After a while, you just learn to be like, well, maybe next time. Yeah, that is definitely something that you have to learn, that every type of video that failed might either be because you actually did a bad video, which happens. Like I sometimes, even though most of my content, like 90% of my content is reactions, I sometimes have worse reactions. That's just the way it is. I think it might feel way worse for you because you do actual like original content. I don't want to diminish my type of content, but I'm still using all the work that you've done, right? And I just add my opinion to it or my commentary to it. But even I, like someone who's using someone else's work as a foundation, right? When that flops, I get like so mad, right, at myself. So what you are experiencing when a video flops is probably my feelings times 10. The thing is, the only thing that is currently, we both basically just give our thoughts on things. I agree, but I also disagree, because you're like getting the material, right, and putting the material together. That is an extra layer of work that I'm not doing. I wish I could be doing like that in the future. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, the only reason why I even went into the reaction category is because I wanted to combine both streams and also one type of discoverable content. And the easiest one, in quotation mark, the easiest one, even though nothing is really easy with my type of brain, was reaction content. Because if I would go into like anime essays, right? If I would go into that direction, or gaming, funny gaming reviews or shit like that, I would probably be able to do like one video per month. And that might be enough if you're someone like Video Game Donkey, right? But if you're still learning your craft and whatnot, that means you have 12 uploads per year, right? And that means you have essentially no data if all of those videos flop. So yeah, that is why I thought, okay, I need to try something like reaction content, but I'm still trying to add as much commentary as possible to make it somewhat like transformative, right? Because I'm not a fan of the people who just say cool, and it's essentially the original video is 10 minutes and then their version is 10 minutes and 12 seconds. But I also, in the past, I turned a 10-minute video into a 30-minute one. Now I'm like when it's a 10-minute video, it's like 15 minutes or 14 minutes, because I also noticed, because of those retention graphs, is that the second I talk too much, and I have videos where I have like 3-minute yap sessions, right? When I pause the video for 3 minutes, everyone skips. So I also have to find a fine line. I also now understand why some people only have like smaller commentary or shorter commentary. It's because the people who watch their videos, the second you pause for too long, they just move away. It's crazy how Donkey can make the absolute most lowest effort video and it'll get 2 minutes. But Donkey is funny, man. And also, that sucks because I like your commentary. Yeah, I will try and find a better line between like longer pauses. One thing I definitely dropped is longer intros and longer outros because of the freaking retention graph. It's like, wait, I can even show you in my recent video. It's like the second I go, well, that was a great video of Kitsune anime, the retention graph goes boom, like it's falling off a cliff. Like 99% of people leave. And usually I had like a longer section at the end where I would like give my like a almost like a resume, right? Like a review of how I felt about the entire video, what could have been done better, right? Because I also studied like multimedia production, and there's some videos that I reacted to where I can actually give a bit of like objective feedback. Like I recently reacted to a video that had no background music, so it was basically just 30 minutes of words, and I was like, you need to use music in your videos. That's something that I can just give as like objectively as like feedback. But I also I've heard that like a good thing to do is to end the video as quickly as possible. Yes, that is also, I also had to learn the hard way. Something that I really appreciate YouTube for, because YouTube does give you all of that info, right? They show you retention graphs, they show you where people skip and where people drop off. Because without those retention graphs, I would have probably still had 5-minute outros. But now it's basically like, great video, I agree or I disagree with certain takes. Thank you for watching, see you next time. And I end it. But I used to be like, oh, this is cool, and I would repeat myself of things that I said before and repeat points that were made in the videos, and people do not have that patience anymore. We live in that short attention span era, and it's even a miracle that people are even willing to watch 10+ minute videos, right? So hopefully that is also something I hope for 2026, is that hopefully people just got sick of short form content. I'm not saying that short form content is bad per se, There's definitely it should exist, right? I create a lot of short form content as well. I think it's awesome to create impressions. It's basically like a billboard for your channel, but I hope there's a natural, like, organic way back to longer form content. I hope people seek out longer content again. Yeah, that's helpful. Yeah, YouTube is by far the best platform, I would say, when it comes to video uploads and just being a creator and understanding what it means to be a creator, right? All right, I gotta get going, but it was nice talking to you, Jinyo. Likewise, you don't know how much you being here just like reassured me positively that I'm sometimes just thinking too negatively about myself. Have a happy new year. You too. Thank you so much. And good luck in 2026. Good luck to you as well. And I'm going to continue watching your channel. Now, like, I have the permission. Oh, something that I wanted to say initially, but I didn't want to mention it in a comment, because in a comment it always, like, sounds a weird way. I apologize for not getting in touch with you beforehand, before reacting to your videos. I always try to do that, basically get permission from creators, but I cannot reach them. Literally. Not on Twitter, not on there's other creators that create like content in the same category, but it's like I literally try to reach out and I can't. You don't have to. Nobody has to do that. Okay. I love reaction videos. Okay, I never know how people feel about that, right? Because the other day, I'm not gonna say the name of the creator. One last thing before you leave, but there's like one creator that I reacted to, who basically afterwards they said some things and in the comment section, and then they basically created copyright. Not a copyright claim, but they, after I already, like a month later and after that comment, they made it so that people cannot, they basically put a copyright thing on their videos. I never copyright anyone for doing reactions. Okay, that is good. I'm just saying there are some exceptions, and when it happens, all I'm trying to say is I'm not doing this on purpose, and I would love to ask for permission and get in touch, but most of these creators cannot be reached anywhere, like literally. You cannot message them on Twitter, you cannot message them on YouTube, because YouTube has no whispering function. The way I see it, that is just fun to see how people react to my videos. It's a dick move to just have a stick up your ass, and it helps spread the video around, so it's totally fine. Okay, I appreciate it. I always try to like react the most like ethical way possible. I usually leave the ad read inside of the video. I don't cut it out, because I don't want to create like a, so to speak, like a better version of the video, because nobody wants to see ads. It's just a matter of fact. And I always like link to their channels and link to the video. That is all I can do. You're totally fine. All right, appreciate it. Appreciate talking to you kids today. I don't want to like hold you hostage here. React all you like. All right. Thank you. I will. Have a happy new year. We already said that, and see you next time, or see you in your comment section. And good luck to you as well in 2026. Hopefully the algorithm gods will be good to both of us. It was fun talking. Likewise. I'm gonna finish my list real quick, and then I'm gonna go as well, because it's almost 10 p.m. I have 19 minutes left. So the dreams I have for this channel. Let's finish that up real quick. Longevity. Everyone wants longevity. Nobody wants to do this for like a week and then quit. Right, so longevity. What else do I have? Emote expansions. I mean, this should not be a dream. This should come in here, right? More emotes. And art for the channel in general. I don't think that should be a dream. I think that is something we should work for. Dreams, longevity, growth, I would say. Everyone wants growth, or growing the community so we can have more fun in streams. do cooler and bigger community events, etc. And then, last but not least, I would say the Jinyo, Master of all classes, manga progress. What I mean by that is some type of I don't know how to put it. Wait. Let me just put this back. You know, last year I said it would be nice if the Jinyo manga had like 1 page done. But I also completely underestimated what makes a manga in the first place, right? We don't even have set characters and character designs. So what I would love to have in like a dream of mine for 2026 is that we made a bit of progress towards the first concept art maybe of the manga, meaning maybe we tackle the characters and do character sheets, right? Like there are many characters that will appear in a Jinyo manga or this Jinyo short story. I don't think it will ever become like a huge manga, right? Or manga in general with multiple volumes. That is just a bit delusional, I think. But maybe we can turn it into a cool little short story that sometime in 10 years someone can even like animate even in like a short story, maybe like a 10-minute story or whatever, right? So yeah, character sheets done. That would be awesome. Like how the characters actually gonna look like. I mean, Jinyo 2.0, the concept art for Jinyo 2.0 is gonna be how Jinyo will look like basically in the manga. Because when I created Jinyo, this model of Jinyo, this base model of Jinyo, I thought this is how he's gonna look in the manga as well. And he will, but I think there still needs to be a bit of tweaking. Like there are only tiny things that I want to do for Jinyo 2.0. I don't want this to look like a completely different model like a lot of people do with the 2.0s. It's more likely going to be like a Jinyo 1.25 upgrade. Like he will pretty much look the same, but there's some minor tweaks like more defined eyebrows, I would say. The hairstyle is gonna change a bit, and also the patterns with the hair. The base is still gonna be white, but the highlights, the streaks are gonna be more like a tiger pattern, right? The clothes are gonna change slightly because I have like more ideas for the clothes, and he's gonna have a bandana. So there, if we can make a bit of progress in this direction and actually make it something that is legit, right? Right now it's just a delusional idea. Like I have a story set up for the manga, obviously, right? But if we don't actually do something in this regard, it will always stay like a delusional like idea, right? So if we by the end of next year, this is not necessary, right? This is just dreams, cherry on top, not necessary at all, but if we by the end of next year actually have something that points towards the story that we have, right? Then I would be very happy. Write it as short novel first, and you can do manga based on that. I mean, I have already like the entire outline of the first volume basically. Not as a short novel, as you said, but I basically have all the major elements that like it has like a natural, in German we call it Dramaturgiekurve, like a dramatic curve, right? All of that is already set up. His companions are set up. His like the characters in the first part of the story are set up, but there are still a bunch of things. I can open the PDF, not publicly, right? But wait a sec. I'm not gonna dox like the plot and shit like that, but when I created the PDF, I ended the PDF with a bunch of questions that are still open. Okay, so this was the end of Volume 1, start of Volume 2. Okay, so I lined up this story, basically perfectly described Jinyo, master of all classes. If you're really, really interested in the story and you don't mind getting spoiled for Volume 1 or the... then let me know. I can send you this on Discord. It's not like it's like a huge secret either, right? Or it's super flashed out. This is just basically like the frame of the story is set. But there's still a bunch of questions that are left open that I had not the time to get to, and I wrote this at the beginning of the year, so for an entire year I haven't done anything when it comes to this idea, because as I said, confidence, lack of confidence, I basically discarded the idea in general, stopped believing in it. But in 2026, as I said, we're starting to believe again. Chapter is done, new chapter starts, and it's not like it's something that I'm expecting. As I said, it's dreams. It's in the dreams category for a reason. It's the cherry on top. All right, things that still need explaining or are missing. A signature move. As of right now, Jin doesn't have one. Goku has Kamehameha. Naruto has Kagebunshi no Jutsu or Rasengan, right? I think this is one of the things that I said yesterday is, or one of my previous streams, is that we don't understand how much of a genius Toriyama was. Just the fact that he came up with certain moves, right? I watched a documentary about Toriyama where he said he basically practiced how the Kamehameha could look like, right? So he did it himself. He didn't just draw it. He basically tried to do a bunch of moves and was basically experimenting and testing which one would look the same, the best and the most unique. So Jin, at this point, doesn't really have a signature move. Then there's some things that are very story related. There has to be a reason why clans don't team up to overthrow each other's. Political reasons could be a thing. Maybe even international laws or trauma. Because I said that the reason why someone like the Avatar, right, is so dangerous, someone like the master of all classes is so dangerous, is that he basically has a counter for every Kung Fu style, right? And I still haven't found a reason why, because there's a natural balance in our world, just like there's a natural balance in the Avatar world, like fire beats water, water beats fire, right, and so on. So some Kung Fu styles in my world, doesn't have to be in real life, right, because the Kung Fu styles exist in real life as well, but in my world, some Kung Fu styles just are better than others. And my question is, why doesn't, for example, I still haven't found an answer why the Snake style doesn't team up, like the Snake clan doesn't team up with the Eagle clan to throw over the governments of the other clans. So there needs to be a valid reason why the clans don't just team up. Why doesn't the Fire Nation team up with Earth Nation to enslave the airbenders and whatnot? You know what I mean? There needs to be an actual reason. The power-ups and how they come in play, because every Shonen Jump has power-ups, and I already know how the power-ups look like in my world. Like visually, how they look like. But when do we trigger them? That's still gonna be a major issue. Major characters and setting for Volume 2. I basically ran out of juice after I was done with the framework of Volume 1, so I have no idea how the story continues. I like, usually you should start with the end of the story, and you should have an idea how it starts and you should have an idea how it ends, and then you will try to do everything in between, right? But I basically used all of my creative juice for the beginning of the story, and I have no idea how to like actually write it going forward, if we ever get to the end of that story, right? Inter-clan relationship. If a Tiger Clan member procreates with a Crane Clan, what affinity does the kid get? Dominant or recessive genes, is that going to be a thing? Possibility for mutations, where kids of interclan relationships get both affinities. Or it could explain the existence of subclans who created their own styles, like the Eagle clan, because the Eagle clan is not part of one of the major clans. Like shit like that. Also a strong female team member. I already have idea for who that could be in our story, but I feel like the entire cast would be a bit more dynamic if it wouldn't just be bros. Like, we're not trying to build like that, because usually, like in kung fu stories, the aunties who are fighting, right, in those old Jackie Chan movies, they usually come with like a more graceful kung fu techniques. Usually the story is always the same, that they're getting underestimated and then they start fighting. Everyone's like, oh shit, we didn't know you could fight. So I would love to have a character like that as well. To have something a bit more graceful, like a graceful fighting style. Whereas we already have Jin. Jin is the main protagonist, right? And then his best friend is Tora. And Tora is more like the brute force type of Shonen Jump character, right? He's kind of dumb, but he's powerful as frick. Yeah. There are parts of the story which I, at this point, already want to, like, throw away, because I'm not exactly sure what to do with the information, right? And where to get with the story. 2026 is for believing more. That is true. As I said, if you're interested in the framework of the story, let me know. I will send you the PDF on Discord. But yeah, this is, as I said, this is just dreams, and I'm well aware that if we ever tackle this in a serious manner, not just oh, this would be funny, right? We actually need a team of people. I already know what type of artist I want to work with, but that is just for the manga pages. I need an actual dedicated person who knows how to create and draw characters. Like, I need a character artist, basically. I need someone who knows character development well, and therefore also knows how the character should look like, right? I already know how Jinyo will look like, but I don't know how Jinyo's best friend will look like. Or same with the cat. Jinyo has a cat in the story, which is kind of, and this is a bit of a spoiler, but he's kind of a shapeshifter, right? And that is because natural beings in our world is based on yin and yang. I've never explained that, right? So you have to think about, instead of atoms, you have good particles and evil particles, right? And trained martial artists in our world can manipulate those particles and shift the balance in one way and another. Imagine you see a tree, right? A tree is basically built out of only white yin particles, right? This is basically how our chakra works in the world. If someone wants to burn the tree with like a technique, right? He basically can manipulate what the tree is made out of, or what the air is made out of. Wait, let me show you an image. It's better to explain that way. So I already thought about the fighting style and the fighting mechanics in our world. It's so much fun thinking about stuff that you might never even turn into reality, but this is the way it is. So, okay. Alright. Oops. It's compelling and seems like a nice project. Yeah, but we need actual top 1% streamer money for that. Or people who will do this voluntarily, like people who are actually, maybe we find some manga artists in Japan who become fans of our community or parts of our community who will do that for us. But let me show you how I built the world, or how I imagine how world works. First of all, these are images from Dragon Ball, right? If anyone is saying, wait, I know this image, it's Dragon Ball, right? But this is basically how I imagine the world to be like. It's a mix of futuristic settings and traditional settings, right? So it's not like a copy of Dragon Ball. I'm just saying that I like the setting of Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball is, on one hand you have Capsule Corp, and you can spawn entire buildings from a capsule, so it's highly advanced, but at the same time it's also like still very simple, right? So it's a perfect blend between technology.
Why should you raise your left leg before the ball drops at midnight? So you can start the new year off on the right foot.
That scared the shit out of me. Hello, Double Chocolate Chip. Hello. Happy last stream of 2025. Happy last stream. We literally have 6 minutes left. I already wish you a happy new year, Double Chocolate Chip. Thank you so much for stopping by for our final stream. I was just trying to explain a bit of our like delusional manga idea. But yeah, I have an easier time explaining it by showing the videos. So you have to imagine that our world basically is split up into atoms, right? I did it in a very amateur way like this, right? And each of these atoms is like in when nature is basically, when nobody's touching nature, there's always going to be a perfect balance between yin and yang, right? So if you go into the forest is basically this, the perfect balance between yin and yang. It's just nature, right? Nature in its purest form is 50% this, 50% that in our world. So how our attacks work, basically our version of Kamehameha works in our world is by manipulating the balance of this. So you can induce more yang particles into the nature, right? To create destructive attacks. So you basically, as a martial artist in our world, have the ability, as a Tiger Clan member, for example, to do like a tiger prank attack, which slices through air. And you do that by inducing a lot of yang particles into what already is in the nature, right? So you're manipulating the balance, and that is how you do destructive forces and you destroy things. On the other hand, if you want to heal something, let's say a tree is burning, and a tree burning internally looks like this. Shit, it's dying, right? A tree is burning. You can basically reverse destruction by inducing more yin particles into the world. And you can also do that by to buff people and dope people. So if you want to make someone stronger, you can basically temporarily buff them and dope them by inducing, like changing their internal yin and yang balance. And this is also how I imagine, I'm not sure yet, how our power-ups will look like, that you're temporarily changing your internal balance of one or the other. I'm not completely sure about everything yet, right? But I have the frame of work is done basically. So this is something that already exists IRL, right? The Kung Fu styles, animal Kung Fu styles in the Shaolin world. And these are also gonna be our major clans in the world. But there are also sub-clans, right? And those sub-clans, as I said, I'm not exactly sure the reason why those exist yet. One reason could be that people naturally just procreated with each other. So the Eagle clan procreated with the Dragon clan, and over the course of many hundred years, they created a sub-clan with a very unique affinity, or maybe an affinity of both of these clans. Because in our world, because to restore the balance, people have only an affinity of one animal basic, or one Kung Fu style. Just like the Avatar, like pretty much Avatar. There's Fire Nation people, and there's airbenders, and the airbenders cannot learn how to firebend, and the firebend people cannot learn how to airbend. It's basically the same in our story. And Jinyo, because he has he's the chosen one. We're gonna create another chosen one story. Because he's the chosen one, and because he wears that crest, that legendary crest on his chest, which I don't want to go too much into the story, just in case we're gonna be able to create that story in the future. I don't want to spoil people, but he's the only one who can basically master everything, because he has the ability to naturally basically manipulate the affinities and particles inside of him, just like his cat, because his cat is basically like the purest form of this natural being. It's like Mew almost, but we don't know that yet at the beginning. So this is kind of a Jinyo manga spoiler. If we ever get to a manga, right, you already know a bit more than others. At first, Jinyo's cat, which will become a long-term companion, at first he will look like a normal-ass cat, right? Like, also have the size of a normal-ass cat. But at the end of the first volume or the start of the second volume, he'll be able to get bigger, right? Just bigger. So he will basically how Simba will look like at the beginning of the story. Imagine like a chibi version, a smaller version of a guardian lion. And throughout the course of volume 2, when Jinyo is in danger, he'll get the ability to get super angry, and then all of a sudden, shit, he's able to transform into a bigger version of himself. Later in the story, and this is now a major spoiler if we ever get to that point, the cat actually understands that it can shapeshift as well. It's not just that he can become a bigger cat, he can also turn into a dragon. But that is towards the end of the story. As I said, we might never even get to the first page in the next 5 years. But this is basically what I imagined Jinyo the VTuber to be, but I also realized that is a bit too complicated for a VTuber lore. Even if we would have the funds to do all of that, right? It would be a bit too complicated. So this is also the reason why in this year, in 2025, and also in 2026, going into 2026, I said, hey, we're going to be white tigers only. It is way simpler, it is way easier to create a brand around it, and to basically make people understand what they belong to when they join our community, right? If I tell them you are legendary, like warriors and the master of all classes type of situation, and you are tigers, but you're essentially also everything else, that is not really something that people can resonate with, I think, right? It's gonna be very tough unless they know all the lore. So what I was trying to say is that I did a bit too much when it came to the lore of Jinyo the VTuber, but now I think what we're gonna do is basically we're gonna keep it simple, and we're gonna try and dig deeper and deeper and deeper the more funds we have, right? And maybe in 5 years from now, never say never, maybe Jinyo, once we hit Jinyo 3.0 or Jinyo 4.0, because if you do this for a long time, you usually get better models and updated models, right? So maybe by the time we hit Jinyo 5.0, we'll actually have the first couple of pages or the first 30 pages or so done. Never say never. Like, I'm ready to hope again, and I'm ready to believe again. But I hope you also understand why we now, like for now, we had to streamline it and make it a bit simpler for people to understand. A 1 to 2 minute lore video would be awesome based on the story, but that would cost a lot. Yeah, this is why I said that when I started creating the idea, literally Jinyo, the idea for Jinyo came out of the manga. So the idea was basically to change the VTuber model based on how far we progressed the story in the manga. But as I said, I was completely out of my mind thinking that we would just be able to create a manga like that. As I said, usually this is where the confidence part comes in, right? When I do something, I usually aim for the highest possible goals. I did that back when I played football. Highest possible goal was to go pro, because if I cannot believe that I might or might not reach the highest possible goal, then my brain basically tells me, why put even a lot of time into this? Then you can just do it casually, right? I treated every single hobby that I did in my life that way, except for video gaming or video games, because with video games back then there was no path to a career. So I never looked at video games and was like, okay, I need to lock in, I need to play this every single day for 12 hours because I could become an esport player. That was never a thing. But when I did breakdancing, when I when I had my own company, right, I always was like, the end goal is to be here and we have to get there. What sometimes usually happens, unfortunately, with my type of brain is that you fall in love more with the end goal and less with the path to that goal, right? Content creation is the only exception, where I love the entire procedure and the entire process, but right now I don't like the end goal of it. So it's the opposite with content creation. Like, I love recording, I love live streaming, but then sometimes when I look at my analytics, I'm like, this shit sucks. But someone said, I think it was an athlete, was it Jordan? I'm not exactly sure. One person said, if you fall in love with the process, the end results will come naturally. Like the results that you're looking for will come naturally. That hasn't happened yet, but it might happen next year or in 2 years or 3 years. I'm not giving this up unless I have to, and unless we cannot reach the bare minimum. I think that is the only pressure I want to put on myself, is that if we cannot reach this in 12 months, right? We will not reach this in, like, if we cannot do this in the next 12 months, we will not be able to do it in the next 24, and we will not be able to do it in the next 36. So there's got to be a little bit of professionalism in this. No matter if you do something as a hobby or not, but you can do it as a hobby in a lax way, or you can do it as a hobby with more structure. And I think I've done it in the last 5 years in a very lax way, right? No schedules. Sometimes a stream, sometimes no stream. Sometimes we did just chatting, sometimes we did reactions, sometimes I did pure gaming, random games. Like, there needs to be a clear line. And this might not happen in January, this might not happen in February, but by December 2026, we gotta have a routine that everyone likes. Maybe not everyone, but there's gotta be a routine. I hope you would agree with me, right? There's gotta be something. Like, I can point to every streamer that I'm following personally, and they have a routine. They have a certain type of schedule. They are doing certain type of content on certain type of days. Their community usually knows what to expect, unless they do like events or surprise type of things, right? Collabs or stuff like that. With our community, that is not the case. For the longest time, yesterday or the day before that, I had a community member come in, and he was like, since when did we move on from the Panda brand? So they didn't even know that we are not technically pandas anymore. Because that was the brand beforehand, right? That was Panda was the brand before. So yeah, I gotta do clear communication now, clear identity, and a clear lane. Good. All of these are nice to have. Like, if we at the end of 2026 don't have any of these, that is still fine. But if at the end of 2026 we don't have this, that is an absolute no-go. All right. And with that, I would say thank you so much for a wonderful 2025, but also 2025 with a bit of a headache, right? There's always ups and downs, but if you look back at a year like we did today, you realize that the positives usually outweigh the negatives. And in 2026, we're gonna do the same as we did in 2025, but better in every regard. We now have an identity that we can work with. No more guesses, right? We have a clear identity. We are Jinyo. We are Jinyo. I am Jinyo. We are the Jinyu Force. We are the white tigers who have the burden to restore the balance of the world, just like the Avatar. That is the identity that we have, and everything going forward will reflect that. And if we can do a bit more lore, right? Because there's plenty of lore to explore. That rhymed? We're gonna do that, but if not, at least we have a base that we can work with now. So, Happy New Year. I hope all of your dreams, all of the New Year resolutions will come true to you. If you don't have any, if you're just happy, I hope you just get happier. Okay? And I will try my best, and I can promise you this, as the leader of the Jinyu Force, Captain Jinyu, that I'll try my very best to grow this community, to get more people, to recruit more people, and to just have more fun and enjoy the things how they are, and to be less in my brain and spread less negativity. I did spread a lot of negativity in 2025, which I didn't mean to, right? Some of the streams, I know people were okay with me venting, because venting is just a human emotion, but it's time to move on, okay? Like, we cannot restore the things that happened 5 years ago, 4 years ago. We cannot go back in time. We gotta leave the last 5 years where they are, in the past, okay? From now on, we have one lane, we have one community, and we have one branding, and I will not do a rebrand ever again, because I would rather just quit. We're always gonna be Jinyo now, and we're always gonna be the tiger community, the white tiger community, and we're gonna just build on this. We love gaming, we love anime, we love reactions, and we love yapping. I've been yapping for 4 hours straight. Okay, Happy New Year, goodbye 2025, rest in peace 2025. Thank you so much, Jinyu Force, for being a part of this wonderful journey, and let's just continue the way we started this year, right? This year started very, very good, and we're just gonna take that energy from the beginning of this year, and we're gonna push it into the next year, and we're gonna believe again, and we're gonna celebrate again, and we're gonna do everything again. 2026 is gonna be the year of the tiger, even though technically I think in the Chinese calendar it's not, right? What is next year? Chinese year, animal, horse. Okay, it's the year of the horse. It's the year of the Uma Musumes. It's still gonna be our year as well. Happy New Year. Let's meet the new year properly. Exactly. I'm gonna hope that Lady Jin did not walk away without me, because we wanted to leave at 10. But I'm gonna get ready now, and then we'll see each other next year. Okay, auf Wiedersehen, and bye bye. Take care of yourselves.